Hey everyone, Jeff here. I apologize for the poor audio quality. We had some hardware issues about 30 minutes into the podcast, so you'll notice the quality is a little poor. Actually had someone run it through a program to try and salvage the footage, so enjoy. If you find it's hard to listen to, I apologize, and catch us next week.
Sword of the week. I don't know. Oh yeah, I gotta think of a gripe, huh?
Well,
That's
Plenty.
You drove over here. You got to have at least one there.
Exactly.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our 8th podcast,
Wow.
the American
Lion.
Has it been?
Craftsman
Yeah.
Amazing.
podcast.
The number 2 design podcast in Slovenia.
Yeah. And we're up there in Belgium too.
Yeah, number 3 in Belgium. We hit 8 for 3 days in the U.S.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
no
We're
kidding.
going places.
We're rocking in Slovenia.
Yeah.
Shout out to
As
Slovenia.
long as we're ahead of the those guys in Boston.
Oh yeah, with a very similar name.
Same name.
So we have our second guest this time, and his name is Will Fagan.
Welcome, Will.
Howdy,
Yeah.
howdy.
He works at Wild Willy's Woodworks.
Wood shop.
Which
I always kid around with these guys. I called you Wet Willy for the longest time.
That is also appropriate.
Or inappropriate, however.
yeah,
And we'll get to talk to him a little bit before we get into, we got to do a beer of the week, but musician,
Yep.
carpenter,
Yeah.
woodworker,
Mm-hmm.
once a criminal,
I have been in jail overnight.
and I heard you were a porn star at one point in time.
Not yet.
Still
But
young.
welcome to the show. Welcome
Yeah.
to the show. So let's get on with our
Happy to
the
be here.
start, and we'll have the beer of the week, and this is
Yeah.
Jeff's turn.
yeah. So it's me this week. So we have another beer from what's the name of this brewery again? Jug Handle.
I've heard of it.
All right.
It's local?
Yeah. So this is out in Tinton Falls, which is I don't know, 15, 20 minutes from here.
Appropriate name for this area.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're
Yeah.
if you're not from the Northeast, you probably don't know what a jug handle
Just
is.
telling my friend about jug handles.
I think only in New Jersey, right?
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
I mean, I didn't know what a jug handle was when I moved here.
Yeah, how would you explain that to someone that it's a U-turn? Well, not necessarily a U-turn.
It's how you make a left when you get.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't make
Jug handle.
we don't make left turns on the highway in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything's divided. When you come from a place like New York where you just turn left.
Right, and also you don't have to deal with
Yeah.
these types of highways.
This
like
should
35,
this should be
36.
interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is called Sour Wheels. Sour Wheels Jug Lotta, pineapple, coconut, and lactose.
That's
So
What
it's
does lactose taste like?
Like milk.
It's a milk beer.
Doesn't seem very carbonated.
No, that's not.
That's not something I would buy
Well-
by description.
Cheers, gentlemen.
Mm.
Got a little tang to it.
Not bad.
Yeah.
That's sour.
Ooh, it is sour.
Definitely.
Woo.
Doesn't taste like beer.
No, it tastes like
Very
almost
juicy.
like a spritzer.
Very spritzy.
That's a jug lotta.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll hear from us later.
Was that a kickback piece up there?
Yep. That's part of the wall of
Yeah,
shame.
the wall of shame.
Yeah, you know our wall of shame.
Yeah.
We have a Lee Nielsen brush.
Yeah.
Of course. How you know you're in a snobby woodworking shop?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see this guy.
You should have heard the conversation about 15 minutes ago. Got pretty dark.
Well, welcome to the show.
Glad to
And
be here.
tell us a little bit about how you got into woodworking.
Honestly, it all kind of started with I grew up riding BMX, so we always were needing things to jump off of. So my buddy, who is now an architect, he always kind of he would be the guy who figured out, how to make the transition. So he did we did like the string line thing.
Yeah.
We would trace it, and then I would cut it with my stepdad's crappy jigsaw. And I was never afraid of doing the things with the tools. Like they were all, the other guys we were with were always like, oh, we don't have tools. And so I'd go to my stepdad's garage, I'd grab a couple things, I'd just start cutting wood. And I was like, all right, this kind of makes sense. I know, I knew enough about stuff. My dad's a roofer, so I had been around, been swinging hammers since I was born, blah, blah, blah. But didn't really actually get into it like in a real way until I was like 22-ish, I guess. I would work with handymen and we would do painting, and I knew how to like cut miters and do trim and stuff, but I never like thought it was cool or whatever. I was like, oh, that's easy. I grew up doing that, whatever. So I guess the real woodworking started when I worked with like a contractor who was mostly a really good trim carpenter, but a framer as well. So I started out framing. Started out digging a lot of holes, as I've talked to Jeff about.
Yeah.
Jeff dug some
Doing
holes.
like
A couple.
doing like the really rough labor stuff. Like it was around Hurricane Sandy time, and we were the first 2 houses I think I worked on him were with. We just like ripped out the whole first floor, sheetrock up halfway up the wall, replaced everything, like super dirty stuff, just like picking water out of basements, just everything. Wearing Tyvek suits for weeks at a time. Like just nasty shit. So when it came to like actually doing the wood stuff at the end of the job where we were like retrimming everything, I was like, okay, this is cool. Like we're putting lipstick on a pig in a way, but like also I'm learning. I was seeing the finer details that were going and this was like low end construction stuff, but I found an interest in that. And my boss was one of those typical like boomer types that's just like fucking screaming at, I'm just an asshole to him who he pays as little as he can just to, get his job done. And
Quality, job one.
And, and then, we went from there, and he was a really good trim carpenter. We were doing a lot of crown molding. We were doing all these interesting jobs. He definitely didn't say no to something that he didn't know. He knew how to do everything basically. And he was just one of those cool people to learn from. And he was very skilled. So.
Similar to Jeff's experience in a way.
Yeah, and around the same time, because it was, after Sandy is when I got into doing all that stuff. And same thing, started out, digging holes, insulation, clean out the attic, the crawl space.
Like, go get the worm drive from the van. I didn't even know what it was. Like, I had a tape measure that was like a Lufkin that I got from my like stepdad's like drawer. I was like, oh, I hope he doesn't notice I took this. Like, I was like that kid that didn't have a tool belt, and then like my boss bought me one, and then now I'm like, I love tool belts.
Like, yeah, can I borrow a pencil?
I love gear. Like, yeah, if I didn't have a pencil, I would never hear the end of it. Like,
Sounds a little bit like the guy that John Peters said that he worked for, Power Framers.
Yeah.
Like I picture like a typical like North Jersey kind of like rough around the edges. Yeah.
Like Oakley's, like American flag suspender, fucking huge framing hammer, huge guy. His hand, it would kill me. Like if I, like
the death grip handshake,
he fucking would kill me if he needed to. Like I made mistakes, and there was a couple of times I was like, I'm afraid to tell you what I just did. That place you told me to drill the hole. I drilled the hole, but it went actually through something else. And he's like, what do you mean it went through
into
something
a
else?
pipe?
Yeah. With a fucking like 5-inch hole saw through this. He's like, yeah, just lift up the siding right there, and then he'd walk away, and I'm like, did he tell me to do it here or here? And I'm like tapping on it with a hammer, like it sounds hollow. Oh man, the things I did. So you have to have patience with. I know I have patience, but I can only imagine how the fuck he felt a couple of those times. And then, I do way higher end stuff. So when mistakes happen, they are big money mistakes these days. So I've definitely eaten my own ass on some stuff because a kid made a mistake on it, or, a grown man who I've hired has made multiple mistakes on things like that were unforgivable. So he had to go. But
so how did you make the transition from like residential carpentry to more woodworking?
It was a long process. I was like, I was living in the city. I was living in Brooklyn, and I was going back we had a job in Alpine, New Jersey, which was a lot of trim work and a lot of more higher end stuff. So I was like very interested in it. And that was when I was starting to get the feel for stuff. And we were kind of, it was like right when I first learned how to scribe. And I remember like he asked me to do this thing behind, like the client came in to me and he was like, oh, do you think you could take this piece of wood and like kind of shadow this line that's there, but like make it a 1/2 inch by. So it's like basically I was making my own molding, but it was like, it didn't exist. So I like took a piece of wood and I figured out how to like take a 1/2 inch block and I like screwed a pencil through a hole and like just traced it and like did it. And I was like, oh, that's cool. That worked. Like whatever. And then my boss was like, how the fuck you do that? He was like, oh, you're getting pretty good. And I was like, oh, he would never say that. He actually didn't. I think he was just fucking with me, but
He's like, who do you think you are?
basically, yeah, he's like, I'm the only one around here who knows what they're doing, so don't even start. But so basically, I'm in Alpine, going back and forth right over the PIP, so I was like, quick commute. At the time, I was drumming a lot, so I was trying to pursue the music career. So I was working during the day and have gigs at night, and then like I got asked to go on a couple of tours, so I knew that like my boss wasn't going to be down with me just like leaving and coming back. He was like, you can't just fucking do whatever you want. He, kind of the guy. So I started to fuck around with like furniture, like for my house. Like I had pallet wood and I had wood that I found in dumpsters, like really nice 4-inch thick by like 10-inch Doug fir beams and hard pine beams. And at the time I didn't even know what they were, but I had a worm drive and I would borrow my boss's, miter saw and like power planer, and I just started like messing around with them and I was like, wow, there's this beautiful wood underneath this horrible looking wood that's in the dumpster. Like, why are they throwing this out? So I started like hoarding wood from dumpsters and making like bookshelves and stuff. And I made an Etsy, and I was like, there's no fucking way someone's gonna buy something from this Etsy. Like, I remember telling myself this, like I was just like, just do it, just for fun. Like, it's gonna be funny if someone buys something. I was like, there's no way no one. So I made a bookshelf that was like 3 feet wide by 5 feet tall. And then I made like another bookshelf that leaned against the wall. So it was like a ladder bookshelf.
Oh, yeah.
But it was like notched. It was dadoed together. So it was like, that was the only thing I had going on at that time. I was like cutting notches with a fucking worm drive, like making nice lines and cutting them and snapping them off with a chisel and then cleaning them up. Then I'd take like 2 nice like timber mate deck bolts, fucking lock the whole thing together. It was made of wet wood, so
yeah.
Eventually they'd all shrink a little bit, but it had that classic like reclaimed wood look. And then one day I get like an email. It's like, somebody bought your bookshelf, and they're like in Brooklyn, so I delivered it and everything, and I made like $200, and I was just like, holy shit, I can do this. Like, I think I'm gonna try to do this. Like, because at the time I barely made $500 a week, like working with my boss. So I was like, if I can sell 2 or 3 of these little things in a week or 2. I'll make the same money. I'll work from here. I'll still be able to focus on music and have more time. So I kind of stopped working in Jersey over the course of like a couple months after that. Then I found a job. I was working for like a landscape design build, and I was doing the carpentry for them. So I'd get like a set of plans, and like this guy would like, he hired me based off of the things that I was doing with the Etsy stuff. And then like the pictures I showed him with my old boss, like we did some really wild projects. So it was like kind of easy to find a job as a carpenter in the city. And I always thought it would be harder because I was like, oh, there's got to be all these talented guys there, blah, blah, blah. But then you find out they mostly work in production shops. And what do? They nail shit together. Yeah. They basically are ripping MDF on table saws all fucking day. And not much crazy craftsmanship was going down. And, I didn't, and I mean, there is, I know of it now, but I didn't know of it then. And, so I'd be like outside building these things. Boss would come and be like, oh, why is that like that? And I'm like, because that's what it is on the drawing. And he's like, well, like kind of wanting me to read his mind and all this stuff. And like my favorite project with that was we did a pergola that was like really, really cool. It was like a cantilevered, like we had to put the blocks in the ground. We had to square it up to this fucked up backyard that was all at a square. And we put a fence in first, and then so it was like me and this dude were like the only skilled. I was making it up. I was like, what are we doing? We're taking a string. I was like, get a string line out, and we're going to put a level on it. And like, I was like, we got to figure. So I was like watching my boss. I watched my boss do all this stuff with roofs, but he was like one of those guys that he'd be on the floor doing math, looking at it. Like, oh yeah, it's a bastard hip, and it's like a 13 degree with a 71 over here. I'm like, oh my God. What did you just say? Like, And he was super badass with that stuff and just amazing. But then I thought, like, I'm gonna work for guys like that. And then I get to the city and I'm working for like this designer basically who knew nothing about building anything. So he would design stuff, give me a plan. It wouldn't show any of the internal like structure of a piece. It would just show like a rendering almost.
Right.
Like, you know, on SketchUp, how you can do like the outside and then you can like flip it upside down and look at the inside. He would never have that. It would just, I'd be like framing my own way. It all worked out. It was fun making storage benches and all kinds of cabinets and fences and stuff. But it only seemed like he would be concerned. The only things he was concerned with were like timing. And he'd be like, oh, it's taking so long. I'm like, well, don't you want all your screws to be straight on the fence? Like, do you want them to just be anywhere? Like, you can go get us a fucking framing nail and we'll pop this thing together like any other asshole would do. But like, we were taking our time and doing stuff the right way. And that didn't last long because digging holes in the cold ground, like we were doing concrete countertops one day, and it was freezing. And he was still telling us, pour the concrete, we got to get it over with, whatever. I'm like, it's not going to dry. What's the fucking point? So he'd be sending us places and we'd be screwing shit up and then he'd be getting mad at us. So I just quit. I was just like, I'm not enough of this guy. And then I found a really cool production shop that I worked in the Navy Yard, which was amazing because it was a huge view of the city and it was a huge shop with like all windows. And I worked with like two like actors, basically. They were actor carpenter guys. And then I was like, okay, cool. More people like me that are doing other things. They're not just like focused on being like a, you know, because my old boss, I'd be like, what'd you do last night? He's like, oh, went home, had dinner, fell asleep on the couch, you know, like shit. Like they had no other interest other than hunting.
It sounds like me.
Which I mean, it's good every once in a while, but like I was like super busy all the time. I was like always trying to do something. I was like riding a bike or doing anything. Like I was just excited. Production shop thing was cool because I met this guy Jacques and he was from Michigan and had been a carpenter his whole life. Like his dad was one, his mom was basically like they built houses, they built barns, and he knew all these little tips and tricks and I still use them to this day. Like just remember him cutting laminate with a chisel, like holding it up on an angle, like, you know, a big chisel and just like holding it, sliding it across and not using a trim router. And I was like, fuck, this guy's a fucking ace, you know. And then he would show me stuff that he was doing on a table saw, and I was just amazed. And I was like, wow, like I'm gonna pay attention to this guy. So that was where I started to get into like the Instagram stuff.
Yeah. So you're in this production shop.
Yeah. So it's like me and these two other guys. They're just having a good time. It was fun.
Yeah.
It would be like music playing. We're working and we're building all these crazy projects. We were building like, you know, somebody would rent out Best Buy Theater and have a kid's birthday party there, and we would like reskin everything with a different fucking laminate to make it look like a different place. So yeah, that was cool. And then I learned all these tips and tricks and all this stuff. And I remember like the first time I saw a circle get cut on a router, and I was like, what? Like, are you serious? Like, that's how that happens? Like, I was just amazed, you know? Because we never did stuff like we did a couple arched doorways with my old boss, but he would take a worm drive and he would get a string line with a pencil and use that method. And then he would plunge it with a worm drive. And I'm like, okay, you're like a fucking genius with that thing, but like, that's so sloppy. Like,
Some of those guys are the way they just hold stuff in their own hands and cut.
Like, just so, like, it's nothing. It's like an attachment of his body. Like, the worm drive. It became one to me in a way, too. And I loved it. But like, then that was like right during this same time. It's funny to talk about because it was like right when I found out like what Festool was and like what was following people on Instagram. And I was looking at the work they were doing and I was like, you mean guys do shit like this, like all over the place? I've never seen this before. Like I knew like high-end trim existed and I've seen it before, but I was like, no, they do that every day. Like they're set up on scaffolds. Like remember like Mark Schaefer from FS Woodworks, one of my first Instagram friends. And it's a funny story because we've actually like hung out, and when we used to joke and pretend, and we used to say we're pen pals. He's like, I don't have any other pen pals except you, Willy. Like, this is weird. He's like, my wife's always asking me who I'm talking to, and he's like, oh, it's just this kid in Brooklyn. She's like, who? He's like, oh, it's this guy. And she's like, do you know him? And she's like, no, we never met. And she's like, why are you talking to him so much? I would talk to this guy like all day, like pick his brain. Like he had, I mean, if you know him, he had every festival thing before anybody else, I think. Like of all the people I know. And he was doing great work and just like doing cool projects that were like a mix between high-end residential and high-end commercial and building out restaurants and bars and doing like some really nice trim stuff. But like, you know, it was the first time I ever saw fucking Collins miter clamps and just all these little things. And he was putting dominoes in places. He was hiding them everywhere. Anything to make something stronger or more efficient. And he's gone on to teach many kids his ways, which
That's cool.
he basically has a sick crew now based because and he taught his apprentice, and now him and his apprentice are partners. And then they have instructed like half of fucking Boulder, Colorado. Whoever wants to be a carpenter in Colorado is like, I'm moving to Boulder and I'm going to work with them because like kids have like moved from different states to come work for them and stuff because they're just fucking legendary.
Yeah, Instagram is weird in that way where there's been, I mean, I picked up a lot of what I know in terms of tools and even technique, like from Instagram, YouTube, stuff like that. But then there's so many people that are like going the opposite direction and picking up all these bad habits. So it definitely works both ways.
And I think it was good that I was doing this before any of it wasn't hyped up like it is now. Like it wasn't like every fucking jackass who has a hammer has an Instagram called like Silly Willy's wood shop. You know, it's like every like I literally made that to make fun of myself one time. I was in the car with like my friend and I was like, oh, I'm gonna call my thing Wild Willy's Wood Shop, and they're like, that's actually pretty cool. But I was like, it's not going to work as a business name. It will never work. Like, people will think it's stupid. Still here 6 years later. But I was thinking I'd probably change the name if I do, like, a furniture line.
Yeah.
But I have no idea because Fagan and furniture are two F's. I don't know. It's just like I might as well just not change it.
Yeah, write it out.
It's funny how you started where you thought, well, there's no way this is going to work. I think we all felt that.
Yeah. I mean, I picked up, like, what I thought was going to be temporary work. The restaurant I worked at got totally wiped out by Sandy. And I'm like, you know what? I got a call from someone that said, yeah, this guy needs help. So I figure I'll go work for him for like a couple months until the restaurant reopens. Yeah. And then, you know, we're going on almost 10 years now.
You're going to be a chef, right?
Well, I always worked in the front of the house. So I was like a waiter or like a bartender, did some managing type stuff. But yeah, I really liked it. Even the like brute work, the labor type stuff. It was a whole different time of day. I was used to like 4 p.m. until like 2 a.m., 5 a.m.
Which gets old.
Yeah, and I did both for a little while. That was brutal.
That was another thing I was doing. I was doing construction. I would be going to the city and doing catering jobs because right before I started doing construction, I was doing catering to make money. So I would like fucking leave work at 3:30, get on the bus, go to the city, go to like Christie's auction house and do like be serving celebrities like hors d'oeuvres and then go home and do it again.
Yeah.
So it was like I had like this constant drive to just be doing something that like I wanted to do because I like once I figured out that like because my boss was cool in a little bit of a mentor way, you know, father figure vibe where he was like, look, Will, like if you get good at this, like you could be making this much by the time you're 30, whatever age he was saying, you could be making this. And then I was like, okay, well, all right, that's cool. Like no one ever even showed me that. Like I didn't have that as a kid. So like my dad was a roofer and he would be like, don't do this. Like you see what I have to do every day? Like don't do this shit.
My back is killing me.
Yeah, I mean, he's beat up. My dad worked himself into the fucking, you know, laying in bed every day.
Oh yeah.
So that's a sad thing, but it's like that's what happens, you know. Don't take care of yourself.
I started here in the same kind of on a whim thing. I a lot of crossover. I was also a musician, and I came back to New York, and I thought I would teach. So I taught high school in New York for a couple of years, and before we moved out here, and I was waiting for my license. And I'd never really built anything before. I just, like you know, I kind of had a saw and a router, and I put a sign in my front yard, and I got a job.
Really?
And then I got another job, and I started working out of my basement. I'd buy another tool, and I worked out of my basement for 2 years, and then finally I said, I need someplace bigger than, it was literally 10 feet by 20 feet.
Yeah.
And we put this place up, and that was
right on.
Who knew?
So you put I'm a carpenter sign in front of your house or something?
I put, it's like I said, Barone Woodwork.
Oh, I think, is it still out there?
That was my improved sign. The first one was
that's a
like
nice guy. I was like, that's the first fucking sign you made.
a yard sign.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh,
hand
cool.
carved. That guy that did the lettering on the trucks, actually hand carved that sign.
Really?
Yeah, it was just a yard sign.
Cool.
And like you, I was like,
right.
wow, somebody's gonna hire me. I would go home.
Call you like, are you sure?
Yeah. People would give me like a check, and I'd be driving away, and it's like, man, they just gave me a check. You know?
Dude, trust me, I've had that feeling many times.
Yeah, I mean, I still get that feeling sometimes where when you sell a good job and
there's a reward in that.
Yeah, and you feel that little bit of nervousness that you know that you can perform, but like you get that little bit of like, oh man, I better not screw this up.
Like when we built the confessionals.
Yeah, I mean that was a serious job.
Yeah,
Very serious job.
So that's funny. And Brooklyn's changed. I'm from Brooklyn. I hear you talking. The Navy Yard was empty when I lived there.
I hear it.
You know.
Well, you said you used to leave your car unlocked and put a sign in the window that said "Cars unlocked."
Where in Brooklyn?
Well, I lived in Sheepshead Bay, but I lived downtown on Court and First.
Mm-hmm.
And in the '80s, Brooklyn was,
Oh God, I know.
So that was like car theft, and it was mostly the stuff in the car, the radios.
In Red Hook.
Oh
I
yeah,
had a shop in Red Hook. I had a shop in the Navy Yard, and I had a shop in Industry City.
Yeah, they had been talking about revamping Red Hook for decades.
Oh God,
like
have you been lately?
Well, when I was there, it was still no man's
like where
land.
you brought a car to burn it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was
It's like where the mafia brought bodies to dump. Basically.
right. It was the other. You didn't cross
One of my favorite places.
the BQE.
Totally.
But
Not over there.
No, they used to.
It still has that vibe.
Yeah.
In a way. Still kind of like a no man's land vibe, which I love. One of my favorite bars is there. What during COVID we cannot enjoy, but
Yeah.
the funny story is the first time one of my first shop that I was like really excited to have was in Red Hook because I was like, oh, I love this. Like it's like a destination. Like you go down there, you're on the water, seeing the boats go by. Like you're surrounded by craftsmen down there. Everyone that's down there, everywhere you go to lunch, it's just like guys with fucking bibs, overalls, and like they're covered in dust, and you're like, cool, this is where I belong.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, you get into
I'm home.
You get into this thing, like a community vibe now.
Yeah.
And like all the really talented Brooklyn woodworkers were down there, and I was like kind of getting a glance at their shops and their work, and I'd walk into a shop and there'd be like 2-3 sliding table saws all set up with different blades. Like guy had like all these jigs, all like crazy shit I'd never seen. I was like, oh my God, this is sick. Like I would just become friends with like this old Jamaican guy that ran the shop, and he'd let me use the planer and be like, I should be charging you, man. And I'm like, I don't have any money. Like, I'll give you $100. Like, that's all I got. Like, whatever. So that was cool. Oh, the story I was going to tell was first time I'm rolling into the parking lot. There's like caution tape, and there's like a security guy in the booth, and he had known me. It was like he saw me come to like pay the lease or whatever. So he's like, "Oh, you're new here," and I'm like, "Yeah," and he's like. And I see like all these cops are surrounding like a fucking body bag with like the scuba police, and like fire. What's it called? Coast Guard was there. And I'm just like, dude, are they doing a test on me? What's going on? He's like, nope, not a test.
Not training.
And I'm like, so there's like, what happened? He's like, oh, we saw a floater, so we called them, and they came and got it, and it's been sitting there for an hour, like in the bag. And I'm like, so what is it? What? Like, it was where they parked the water taxis, and it was just like, yep, there was a body in the water, and I was like, oh, cool. All right. That still happens, I guess.
Yeah, even in New Age Brooklyn.
Yeah.
You can't get it all cleaned.
Nope.
Well, that's cool. I mean, I miss Brooklyn in my mind.
Yeah.
But it's not some place that I would,
Definitely, I love it, but it's also like, it's not the same as it was for me when I first was there.
No, and
the excitement isn't there for me anymore, really. And that was another thing about furniture being there. I was exposed to, like I said earlier, my friend was an architect, and he went to Penn State and did the 5-year program. So it's like he had all these crazy books on furniture that I had never seen before. And some of it is just like, some of the classic furniture is very simplistic and just beautiful lines, and just like the stuff you guys make, I'm just always very impressed by. And I didn't know that was like, I had never seen stuff. I thought of furniture as like these ornate things, like, you know, that you'd see in a museum, like, oh, furniture makers are this type of person, and they you know, they only use hand tools. I'm like, that is so fucking outlandish. Like, these like idea of like this person, one guy in a shop makes all this shit for this town or whatever it is, like the joiner, like that does that.
Yeah, I feel like people think of like Queen Anne furniture as like,
right.
like that's what handmade furniture looks like. It looks like Queen Anne, Victorian
and like,
furniture.
When I first started, people would be like asking me to make stuff. I'm like, I don't have a style yet, so I'm trying to figure out what that is. But I was using a lot of reclaimed wood, so, and at the time, that was popular.
Yeah.
And, you know, people will hate on the pallet thing, but here I am 6 years later, I started with pallets. So anybody who's fucking using pallets, don't fucking hate yourself for it. Just keep doing it. It doesn't matter.
You're a little late to the party, but...
Yeah, you're fucking way late, but you're going to be fine, maybe, you know. I'll let you know.
Back when I was younger, people always used to say, I thought you'd be older. I haven't heard that in a long time. So,
well, yeah. How about, you know, the one job we went, we finished the install, and the lady hands me $20. She thought I was like the helper. She's like, "Oh, here you go." I'm like,
"Here you go, Sonny."
Like, yeah, I'm actually one of the partners.
Yeah, fucking
I took the $20. We went and got tacos.
I've had that a couple times myself, where, you know, I'm 33 and I have a little like I was trying to have a bigger business basically a couple years ago, so I was trying to hire. I was calling people, yo, you know, who's the best carpenter, you know, like I'm gonna get him on my squad. I had this like vision of that, so I had a couple guys. One of them was like this dude from fucking like Nantucket area, and he was like, and I was like, oh shit, if you work up there in like those high-end homes, then you can definitely handle what I'm putting out there. And I had this bar job coming up, and I wanted to do like everything from scratch. It was like all red oak ply and red oak hardwood. I was getting stained like this dark walnut kind of color, and I was like, this is gonna be my showpiece. Like I was like, everything was like floating shelves on brick, scribes in brick, everything. Fucking ate my own ass on the job. Hired the worst people, worst experience of my life. Never want to do it again, kind of thing. Like I have trauma from this. Like I swear to God. I never want to see this. I went to the bar. I don't even like it. Like I didn't like the design, which sucks because my girlfriend's design company like was part of the design. But then like the people just took over and they had too many opinions, and they hired this artist to do this mural, and I was like, I don't even want my work in this place. Like I was like, this is the art you guys put in here? Fuck off. Like there was so many things, you know, and it's like, and then I kind of realized like I need to stick to a certain aesthetic, and I need to keep my stuff small. I need to stay small and work on, you know, how to be efficient with 2 people, 3 people.
That's it. That's kind of the ideal size when you're trying to do craft type work.
I believe so. Yeah, especially because you can get away with outsourcing a couple things here and there if you need to. You can still make the money that you need to make, and you can still have, you know, I want to have fun at the end of the day. I still want to have fun. Like I'm not gonna die fucking miserable and be like, why did I do this with my life? It's fucking fun.
It's quality of life here as well. As you probably heard.
We get to build shit that lasts for a long time, and I was just filming a TV show over the last 5 weeks, and with the guy designer on the show, we had the conversation. At one point we were like, yep, you know, we both had to fucking make that choice, where he went to design school and everything, and a lot of those kids don't end up in a shop. A lot of them end up designing, or, you know, which there's no problem with. And he was very interested in the shop, and as a, you know, he's a black gay man as well, so there's like not very many of those types in shops.
Yeah, a small demographic in the wood shop,
and just a super badass designer and woodworker, like really, really good. And we were like, yeah, man, I remember that moment where like I was working at the production shop, and we did this huge job for like 2 months straight. We built all this crazy shit. Everything was laminate, circles, fucking, it was like half of it was like a putting situation, you know, like a, what's that called? Putting
green.
But like
mini golf.
Yeah, mini golf, like at the boardwalk. Like all these like loops and things like for kids, and it was cool to do all that. And then we fucking went and picked it up and threw it all in the garbage. Like,
oh god,
you just cut it in half with a sawzall the next day. And then I was just so depressed from this. I was just like, what did I just do? Like, we're gonna do that again now? Like, this is what we're gonna do for the rest of because I liked the shop. I got paid pretty well, and I was like, this is fun. But after that, I was like, I can't do that. I was like, I need to do stuff that like lasts. Like, I want to
Put your name on it.
right. And like, if you tell somebody you did it, it's like, oh, where'd it go? Well, we threw it in the garbage because the rich people were done with it, so we threw it out. It's like so much waste too. And that was a part of my thing was like, I was rescuing wood that was going to get thrown out, and I was making it into something that you could keep.
Yeah,
forever.
it's antithetical to the other work you're doing.
It was literally like the opposite of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't do this anymore. So that was another thing that pushed me harder to continue to do my own thing, really.
Well, we have that vibe here too, as you probably know.
Yeah,
So, you know, we have a lot of things in common.
It sounds like kind of woo woo, but like you really do put a piece of yourself in everything that you make. So to see it cut and thrown away,
Right.
it's like, why would you want to put the effort into it again?
That's the
If
pride
it's just going to be junked.
There's a little bit of loss after you've worked on something and then you install it.
Yeah, then it
you
goes out the
feel
door.
like, oh, there it goes.
Dude, I
yeah,
totally got that.
see you later. You know.
Yeah, and you come back. I was going to say home. You come home to an empty shop.
Yeah,
We delivered that kitchen. I mean, this place was packed,
That's weird.
and you come in and it's empty.
Yeah,
It
it's like
feels-
a kid went to
Oh, yeah.
school.
Yeah, like something's missing. You know.
Yeah.
That's then you can relax. But then that's like a feeling that like it's like, okay, cool, we're done. And then you start something new, and it feels good to start something new. It always
Yeah.
does to me. I love starting a new thing. Sometimes I start two things in the same day and work on them a little bit here and there,
Yeah.
which I probably isn't the best, but it helps me keep a little bit balanced, I guess.
When you work by yourself, you have to pick and choose.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes during the day, what's going to keep you motivated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I work with. My assistant is he's like 3 days a week most of the time. So I'll get something to a point where I'll be like, all right, now this is for you, and then like I'll take it from there and do something else to it, and then just depends on what it is really. But
Yeah,
he's been picking up a lot of good
that's cool.
stuff from me, so that's good. Too.
Yeah, you're lucky to have somebody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. I'm very lucky to have him. He's very dedicated and
Yeah, it's hard to
totally.
find
Yeah, that's half the
good
battle.
people.
super fucking rad dude. And he's his story is cool too because he just started getting really into it in the last couple of years. I've been working with him for 5 years. He's like my apprentice, so it's like I have a lot of pride in seeing the way that he's developed skills, and I'm sure he feels the same way. But it's like, I remember he had never held a power tool before. Like he came to my shop, and I was doing a bar with all pallets, but I was like ripping them all down, cleaning them, and it was supposed to look like a more of a nicer looking pallet wood thing that you could do, I guess. And
High-end pallet.
he got like I gave him the it was I mean it was for a fucking restaurant in the Hamptons, so it was pretty decent. But I just remember him with the sawzall like cutting the nails on the pallets, and he was like, he's like, you think you do this all day? You just like listen to music and make stuff, and I was like,
Yeah.
that's what I do.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm either gonna do it by myself or I'm gonna do it with somebody else. Like,
I had two brothers that worked for me. We've talked about it. So it was over the span of like 10 years, all through their school, here junior high and high school. And the youngest one, I'm still close with both of them, but I was just talking to him. He's an engineer now. He's been, at work out of college about 3 or 4 years, and he still misses working here. He says, I have a great job, but you spoiled me for all future work.
Yeah, Max is a model. He's also tells everybody like,
Yeah.
he's from Sacramento.
I catered.
Yeah,
I was a catering chef out in San Francisco.
You're almost better off having someone come in that has no experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad habits.
Yeah.
right. So like everything that he knows is my like either my theory or my exact.
Yeah.
Where's that from? I don't do that. So you must have got that from fucking you watching YouTube videos now?
Yeah.
Who do you think you are?
We actually, we got a question about that.
Yeah.
No, I've actually learned a ton from you.
I learned from books.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's not spoil the question. You want to get to the tool of the week?
Yeah, let's do it. All right. Well, I'm gonna bring out my tool of the week and its predecessor. This is more of my small tools. this is sort of unintentional. This is my Halder. It's a soft head on one side and hard plastic on the other. It's a 30 millimeter hammer. It is a nice hammer. It did show up a little bit smaller than I expected, but yeah, it feels good. I actually used it with some work the other day. A couple of sharp chisels, my birthday chisels, I refer to them as. We had to take apart a door.
What are they?
My birthday chisels? All right, that's for another show.
Well,
Were they crap? Yeah, so I lost a bet. I have to say something nice about
Yeah,
that.
there you go. Let's hear it.
You shouldn't have had 'em.
I know. I said I was gonna hit a bullseye. Yeah. I see. I got a Vaughn over here, made in the U.S. of A.
Yeah, mine's made in Germany.
Yeah, it's a nice looking and nice feeling. It's just too small for my taste.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's predecessor. I got this from my uncle. My two uncles were upholsterers in Brooklyn,
right on.
and those old wooden frames and everything,
Oh, yeah.
and this was left over when they closed the shop. So I used this for about 12 years and
Fuck yeah.
put it through its paces. This hammer's got to be like 60 years old.
Yeah,
And,
it's left a couple of dents in some cabinets somewhere. Nice, dude.
so it's got more charm than function.
This is actually very
But-
balanced compared to that.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
This is more of a drumstick feeling thing.
Yeah, right. You could see that somebody sat in a
Yeah.
chair
They carved that one.
and did this. So that's it. Tool of the week. But the point is, you got to have some kind of small hammer. Those guys like 12-ounce hammers. This one, actually, just by chance, it fits nicely into a hoop in my apron. So that was the bonus of it being this small. But
Don't try to justify
Yeah.
why you got it.
oh yeah,
He ordered it by mistake. He thought it was big,
Exactly.
I thought it would be a little bit bigger, but I'm happy with
but
it.
no regrets.
Is that an Amazon?
Yeah.
Is that an Amazon picture that was a little too small? And
No,
That was
That
from
Lee
Lee Valley.
Get that Lee Valley?
Yeah,
Came from, it must have come
yeah,
from
with
Lee
the
Valley.
with the legs.
Oh yeah, that's
With
what
the
happened. We
gardening
did-
tools you bought.
Because it's one of those things you can't tell the scale because it's just a picture of a mallet.
Yeah.
right.
Same thing with that pencil.
Yeah.
I did that with I bought this Japanese mallet and it's so light. It's like it's got a rubber side and a wooden side. It's like, okay, cool. This makes me look like I know what I'm doing, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
It doesn't. I'm not using this for anything.
Yeah.
Like you go to tap in a plug, it takes like 3 taps. Like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah, like a little weight,
I have
little
like
weight behind
Douglas
it.
Yeah.
hammer, stiletto. Like
Yeah.
I have the. Actually, I love the little finish hammer.
Yeah. This is only 6 ounces.
No, it's
Yeah.
that's perfect for a lot of stuff.
With a sharp chisel, I felt it really was, perfect. I mean, if I'm using the big chisels, you could see I have that big round mallet.
Yeah,
That was mine too.
classic
Too.
vibe.
If the handle was a little bit,
Yeah.
the handle's a little thin.
The handle
Yeah.
is a little thin. That's what kind of gives it that dainty sort of thing. That maybe.
Yeah, the Germans are very
But,
efficient.
That's probably it. And actually, you got to get used to it, I think, too.
But that head comes off.
Yeah, it does. You could
Yeah.
put a new handle in here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. Check it out.
That'll be a hand carved project. Or
Yeah.
if you want to surprise them one day, you can just change that.
Yeah.
Oh, I got enough on my plate.
Let me know your feelings on this. Too small, just right. Is it the Goldilocks syndrome? So that's the tool of the week. The Halder 30 millimeter Simplex 30.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah, cool mallet.
So,
Well,
Small.
Someone praises those things on Instagram all the time.
yeah.
yeah. Frank Carpenter,
Yeah.
Carpenter 1-3. He's got the bigger one though.
Yeah.
Of course he does.
The regular size.
I can't imagine him having that little twig.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for fine detail work. I said Rich could use it on his models.
Yeah, I'm afraid to use that thing. Afraid it's going to break.
So that's not going to be the one tool that you're able to steal.
No. Definitely. I'm waiting.
Waiting
Rich-
patiently in the weeds.
Yeah, Rich has carte blanche to steal one tool from Rob. So
Yeah. So what's next? We got this. This is kind of one of the favorite topics we've found. People really, I guess, there's a lot of gripes, a lot of things to gripe about out there.
yeah, it's easy to get grumpy in the shop, I'd say.
Yeah. So, Will, being our guest, we let our guests decide what they want to do here on the podcast, and you decide you want to, break out the petty gripe of the week.
I guess the thing that's been on my mind, I've talked to a lot of designers every week. Not a lot, maybe 3, which is a lot. And I come across some that don't know how to describe certain details or certain finishes. And it's just maddening to me because, like, I'll send samples and I'm like, okay, I can hit this 5% sheen and we're going to call that matte right now, okay? And then we're going to call satin pen and then we're going to call, like, eggshell something else. But, like, I'll tell you, like, they'll be like, oh, send us a walnut sample. So I like matte looking stuff. Like, I have a couple things that I go to first time, or I know you guys use a lot of that dark pung oil, like the pung oils, which I've adopted from you guys, actually, from Jeff talking about them so much I had to try them. And I love them. And I did a couple samples. I send them to the city, and then I get an email back like, we want it to be shinier.
We get that.
And I get that. I get it. But, like, then I find out that, like, this person's this interior designer's assistant is, like, 19 years old, 22 years old, whatever it is. That person's job is to be getting better at their job, just like it's our job to be better woodworkers and better craftsmen and better business people, because that's what we do. Like, to me, that's not, you can't just, because you're young in the industry, like, you need to be like, okay, I know what matte is. It's very simple to look it up. Like, there's a lot of videos on finishing. There's a lot of cool stuff on finishing. I'm kind of into it in a way, but just like that kind of thing, and not being able to describe details, and then that gets lost in translation, and then there's a piece that's already almost done, and then they come to see it, and they're like, what's this, like, what's that? What's this? I'm like, that's on the drawing, and you didn't change the fucking drawing. So now it's made, and now you're telling me it's not right? What the fuck? Like, how did you not just, like, get that across first?
Yeah, we've run into that on occasion, and there's nothing worse than having to justify the stuff that you painstakingly recreate from drawings that are signed off. That you're probably just like us. We spell out every detail because we work remotely. We'll present the project virtually, the drawing, written description, and then we produce it. So we don't want to leave any, errors, chances for error.
Yeah, and it seems there's not a lot of reciprocation, like with designers, where we'll go out of our way to learn whatever type of terminology that they're using, or, techniques, whatever. But there's no reciprocation on their end to learn, what we're talking about. No. When in reality, everybody should really know what's.
Of course.
I mean, it's
the language has to be universal, like in the design world and the building world, because there's a lot of kids that, like I said, you can make that choice. Am I going to actually make things, or am I going to just design them on a computer, which I have no issues with at all. But I think there's a lot of people that get real cocky about being a designer and not knowing how something's actually goes together, or the amount of attention that gets put into some of these things that are being made. And they're like, oh, well, I designed this thing. And I'm like, well, how would you make it? Before you get all fucking uppity about it.
Right.
Give a shit.
Yeah, like if you don't know what rails and styles are and which ones are which, and you're a designer, well, then you need to learn that stuff.
Totally.
That's the very basic. Like,
totally. And then they want to say, like, this style shaker kitchens are really hip now. I'm like, they've always been fucking hip. What are you talking about?
That's been around since 1600
years. Architectural Digest, if you look at Architectural Digest, every single one of those fucking things has a shaker style kitchen in it. And they're all a little different, and you can do so many different things with different details with all of that stuff. Shadow lines are so important with all that stuff, everything. And, like, I don't know, people are like, oh, there's a trend in this. There's trends that happen in kitchens right now. There's like that weird color going on, which I love, actually. But that's going to go away. It'll be cherry.
Oh, golden oak.
Yeah. 3 pounds.
Exactly.
You guys do that kind of stuff with the old job?
I have them like at my house. No, back when we were doing it, it was whitewash.
Pickled oak.
Yeah, the pickle boat.
Yeah.
Actually, never
I'm pretty sure I was in like elementary school then.
But like, I've had this conversation with Jeff before about how he was making something with cherry, and I was like, that's so good. I was like, I'm always afraid. Like, I used to tell people I don't like cherry. I don't like the wood.
Yeah.
I don't like the look of it. A couple weeks ago, I made a bunch of stuff with cherry. I'm like, I fucking love cherry. What is wrong with it?
We hear that so often about cherry.
Yeah. Because we broke it down. We were like, because in the 90s or the early, whatever, when was it, whatever, late 80s, early 90s, there was like all those red lacquered kitchens that looked like shit.
Yeah.
And that was
It was
what
burgundy.
I thought. That's what I, it was all burgundy
Maple with
stained.
burgundy thing.
Yeah, it was maple with burgundy stain, whatever they wanted to be, and cherry was the vibe they were going for. I'm like, cherry looked really good. I was like, chest.
Yeah, I mean, this is all cherry right here.
Yeah.
Brown.
Yeah.
It's not
It's a
pink
gorgeous
or
color.
red at all. I
It's a
mean,
gorgeous color. Yeah, a little pillowing on the end there.
yeah, this is my half-ass cloud lift.
Green stuff.
Yeah.
Delay. Sports. Very simple finishes. That aesthetic is cool because that carries over to inspiring someone who's not into flashy shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's where I was inspired by a lot of simplistic stuff, because I was like, okay, I like the lines there. I like that. I like this. I can mix those things together. I can take a round over and do that. It's like, you know,
Yeah.
that's where inspiration comes from with a lot of furniture, I think. And you know, cabinetry, because at the end of the day, cabinetry is furniture grade, beautiful stuff. You know?
Yeah. You know, playing with the shapes, negative space, and all that. That's part of what we do here as far as designing simply and right proportions are so
you have
critical.
you have to have the eye for that immediately. Like, you have to walk into a space and see a thing. Like, if you're looking at this wall and you immediately start thinking what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
You don't go home and then you draw it on the computer. It's already there.
Right.
It's already there.
That's exactly
And
it.
if it's not there, then it's not going to be there.
No. The same thing with music.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
I watched,
Yeah, well,
I watched your gig at the Stone Pony.
Oh yeah,
He sent it to me.
Oh, that's
yeah.
right.
That was your first. Was
Which
that the
drum
first
was that?
one, or I think that was your first gig as a band.
Oh, man.
The Earth.
okay.
Earth.
Oh yeah, the Art
Share,
Share. Yeah,
whatever
that
it
was
was,
our
yeah.
first
It's
gig.
like
Yeah.
the funky one.
Yeah.
One time I played at the Wonder Bar. And
Oh, yeah.
Ran down the street in the rain. Broke my phone, fell out of my pocket, slid into a puddle that was destroyed. I was on tour. I was running to go play at the Stone Pony on Halloween night. So, like, I think that was 4 years ago now. So
I think Wonder Bar
4
might
years
have
ago this
closed.
week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did
Wonder
it close?
Bar, and then ran right after back-to-back sets with two different bands.
That's pretty cool.
That was fun.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. What do you think is going to happen with bars and things like that?
Oh man, I hate to say it, but I don't think anything's going to happen anytime soon. Really,
No, I mean, we
I don't
did.
think people are responsible enough
No.
for it to work.
Yeah.
We did one kind of gig. What was it? About 2 months ago, we did that televised.
Oh, like the
Not
online.
televised, but it's an
Like a live
online
stream.
charity
Live
thing.
stream thing.
And a couple of people from the band are gonna help out somebody and do something else in a live stream thing in a couple of weeks. But it's not the same.
Yeah, man. I mean, I used to love playing live so much.
Yeah.
From the age of 20 to 26, I played every Wednesday night at a place from 10 to 2, plus other gigs on every other day. But like, that was the first band.
In New York?
That was in Nyack, New York.
Oh, okay.
That was
Where'd
my-
you play in New York? Were you any of these places?
Basically every venue that exists, I guess.
Yeah.
Played Best Buy Theater. I played like in every venue. There's pretty much
Yeah.
all the small ones, all the pretty
Yeah.
bigger ones. Never the Garden, but a lot of gigs.
So should we move on to 20 questions?
Yeah,
Oh,
because
yeah.
we're starting to touch on some of these other questions. So we'll.
We're getting ahead of ourselves here.
All right. So we do this thing. We do this thing. We did it once before, and we're doing it again today. We have like 20 quick questions. Don't think about them too much. Just
Okay.
quick answer.
Just one word answers.
Yeah.
Well, maybe 2 words.
Well, it's one or the other.
Yeah.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
All right. Domino or Dowels?
Domino.
Boxes or briefs.
Boxer briefs.
Painted or stained?
Stained. I barely ever paint anything.
Summer, winter.
Summer 100%.
There you go.
Tape measure, 16-inch, 25. 16 foot 25.
You said that
I
last
did
week.
say it.
too.
There's a
Yeah.
link.
That's a
Yeah,
small
there's an
tape.
inch on here.
16.
That's a tape like that Rob would use, 16
Yeah,
inch
I have
tape.
a 16-inch tape.
You're not going for it if you don't need length.
Cheetos, crunchy or puffed?
Crunchy.
Yeah.
Oh, are you like a regular or mechanical pencil?
That's tough because I like both, but I like I guess mechanical's easier and more consistent.
Seinfeld or The Office?
Oh man, Seinfeld, 100%.
Square drive or Phillips?
Square drive every time.
Are you a Windows guy or Mac?
I'm a Mac. I don't even have a computer right now.
Push saw or pull saw?
Oh,
All right, Sicilian pie, corner, edge, or center?
oh my god, yeah. Corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only way.
Like
Yeah.
that crust.
So you go for the level or the laser?
Depending.
Yeah. I guess on an install, we would say.
Yeah.
I mean, laser just makes your life easier, but if it's a big job, it's got to be a laser and it's got to be like set up all day kind of thing. Levels are good for small stuff.
Fagan or Becker?
I mean, rest in peace. Donald Fagen, obviously. I mean, Walter Becker. We can talk about this for a long time, but what's to say? I mean, they played two different instruments. I'm more of a fan of rhythm, I guess, but guitar playing is untouchable. I love Donald Fagen's records, and Walter produced them, so Donald Fagen.
10-inch or 12-inch miter saw?
I've never had a 12, so 10.
All right. Beach or mountains?
Honestly, I'm more into the mountains these days, but I love the beach. I grew up going to North Carolina, and I grew up in Lakewood, so not far from here. The beach, I guess.
All right.
Yeah, let's do the beach.
Tight bond, 1, 2, or 3?
Mostly 3.
Pizza or Chinese?
Pizza.
And to round it up, I guess I shouldn't say that. Finish it off.
Well, yeah.
Chamfer or roundover?
Oh man, that's funny because lately I've been doing chamfer, but I used to always go for a roundover. But lately, when I want to do like that little detail,
Yeah,
I do
just that little
do a
finishing.
I do a tiny chamfer.
Yeah.
The big roundover is kind of your
I
thing.
love the big roundover, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's for certain stuff. But when I'm doing
Yeah.
like
Just to knock the edge down.
yeah, because I got too many people telling me that's my thing, so I started doing something else. I guess.
That's smart. Because somebody else is going to take it and that's going to be their
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Well, we got a lot of questions to get to. There's 2 pages again.
Yeah. So let's rock
man.
and
I had
roll.
to actually make the font smaller.
Oh, these are questions
why I can't see.
from Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So some of these are kind of
Generic.
just generic and others are a little more direct. So this is from Jack Thornton 98. This guy had a bunch of good questions. He wants to know where you can get those fish crocs.
Those are Amazon.
I had to show these
They're
guys what
called
they
the
were.
trout slippers.
They're pretty hideous.
They're fucking horrible. I bought them to just convey. I literally just buy them just to see. I love the reaction I get when
You got to wear them to work.
I wore them. No, I can't wear them to wear. I wear Crocs. That's bad enough. But I wore those slippers to a restaurant in Lambertville, and like I just had them. I had one up on the chair when the waitress came, and she was just like fucking dying. She loved it. I was like, if I can make somebody smile like that, I would
Yeah,
say
that's all.
Come with a steel toe, you can get them in the,
Yeah.
the shop.
You
Yeah,
make
yeah.
Crocs with a steel toe.
Lambertville does seem like the kind of place where you get away with the fish slippers, though.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
So there's your
Some
answer.
interesting fashion going on in not in Lambertville. Lambertville's cooler than New Hope, actually. The architecture's insane.
Yeah.
Those arts and crafts homes on
Mhm.
one street. It's like a row of like 40 of them. They're gorgeous.
Who's got the next one?
Take it, Rich.
Okay, this is again by Jack Thornton. He's got a lot of questions.
Yeah, he's got about 4 in there.
Are you taught
Yeah.
books, classes, university, YouTube, working with someone?
4 out of 5, 4 out of 6 of those, I'd
Yeah.
say. I'm very self-taught. I'm very YouTube watcher. I love a good YouTube video. I don't think I watch too many instructional videos. I'd say I remember one thing, a great example of me watching YouTube is me taking fucking screenshot and pausing videos and like watching like looking at a jig like Jory Brigham. Remember there was this bed he was making one time and he did like a dovetail thing where he like slid a side table onto a bed, but with a dovetail. So he like slid. It was like a big dovetail. Though.
Big sliding dovetail.
I was like, that's fucking badass. I got to figure that out. And I just like paused the video and zoomed in on the jig, and I was like, I'm gonna make one. And I made a bed that had a dovetail, like half lap dovetail joinery. And that's like where I got that idea from. Because people were, where the fuck did you come up with that? I was like, well, I'm crazy. And I watched this video at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I'm going to try that. And, Instagram, like I said, like wasn't much of me watching like how-to stuff. It was just watching the way other guys did stuff that I had, their methods and the way they would set up on a job. Honestly, it would be cool because like, efficiency on a job site I learned a lot of that stuff from watching like these guys that I kind of looked up to at the time and being like, oh my God, if you set it up like that, it'll go way quicker. And like you get these Polk workbenches and like that's very super efficient. Like being efficient is very important, especially in the city where like, you got to load in and out of I was building loft beds on the fifth floor walk up and carrying plywood up by myself. And
I worked for a commercial GC in the city, so
I mean,
just getting in and out of a building,
everything takes probably 6 times longer than it does in the surbs. Like, it's insane. Like you never just pull into a driveway and drop off something. It's always like there's always a headache involved.
Yeah, I did that kitchen install in Midtown, and we parked right in front of like this brownstone, and it still sucked. Oh yeah, just having to get there at 5 o'clock in the morning to get a spot in the commercial line of parking like $72 a day or something. Oh my God. I have no desire to do that.
Greasing the elevator guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So many things.
Yeah. Well, this was a 3-story single owner.
Yeah, because you can't even get up to the apartment if you don't make the right handshake.
Yeah, that and just like they see you walking up, they're like, nope, freight elevator. Like, if you ever want to feel like you're lower on the totem pole than somebody else,
than the elevator guy.
Go to a high-end building in New York. Yeah, they'll let you know that you're a piece of shit real quick.
Exactly.
You got a tool belt? Go around the side.
Yep.
All right. So,
well, not like us, these younger guys. I guess me and Rob, we were self-taught. Books and actually working for someone. Yeah, picked up a lot of information.
Sorry, I meant to say that too.
Yeah. I'm not as comfortable with the medium as far as learning off of a video. I learned most of the stuff from books and watching.
Well, making your own mistakes.
I made more mistakes
for sure.
It makes me think the first time I made a dovetail, so I had a hand cut it because I didn't know any other way. I had my book. So I have my 2 pieces. Yeah. So I'm looking at them. I still didn't know how to get them together.
Really? After you cut it.
Yeah.
You were like, what the fuck is this?
Is there a page missing?
Like, there's a puzzle. Remember doing puzzles when you were It's the same thing, kind of, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm mostly like a YouTube guy.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess I could say self-taught, but using like YouTube. I haven't really read a lot of books. Which is something that I'd like to do more of, but
I like picking stuff up on the job. That's always great. Like some of those stories you're telling are great. When you come across somebody, you go, "Whoa, I gotta shadow this guy."
Totally.
Yeah, you got to pick up as many of those little things as you can. Yeah. Even if the place, like as a whole, isn't somewhere where you want to stay, there's always something that you can pick up from somebody.
Yeah, it was like that in the kitchens too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's always something to learn. I mean, I like to say that you learn something new every day.
That's my line. Don't steal my line.
There you go.
Yeah, we learn stuff here all the time.
Trust me.
From each other. And we're here every day with each other. We still pick up little things here and there.
Yeah, and sometimes it's by mistake.
Yeah.
Not even by making a mistake, but you just come across something and you're like, oh man,
look at that.
I could do it this way, or if I do this is going to happen.
Because I've done stuff by myself for a long time, and I've developed my kind of form of building with a lot of festival machinery, and it kind of hurt me in a way because now I'm in this bigger shop. I never worked in like a real wood shop before. I made my own wood shop, and that's what I learned how to do everything with like festival stuff and routers and track saws and everything, and a table saw obviously, but like mostly just all festival stuff and no big machines. So now I'm in the shop with all these huge machines, and I was like, when I first got there, I was like pretending. I was like, yeah, I got this. And like, some guy would be like watching me, like, what the fuck? Like, aren't you supposed to be some good woodworker that these guys are talking about and shit? And I'd be like, I would be like so embarrassed because these guys have been using these types of things for 40 years.
Yeah.
And like one time I went to set the fence on the joiner and I did it wrong, and the guy's like, and I came back the next day and he was like, hacks don't touch the fucking joiner and shit, like calling me. He didn't know I did it. No, these guys, one of them brutal there, like brutal, but they're cool.
Yeah,
like, I had never cut a fucking miter on a sliding table saw before until yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, and I just made some like sick like miter making these side tables, but until yesterday, I'm 33 years old. I had never done that before, so it's like there's something new to learn every day.
Oh yeah,
and that was a scary one. You know, it's like the blades. Those things, 15 horsepower.
Yeah, 16-inch blade.
we had similar paths. I mean, I made my first wood shop myself too, and if I didn't have it in my shop or know how to use it, I didn't know anything about it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't work from rough lumber until 18 months ago.
Yeah.
I had never.
Oh, really?
I had jointed stuff because it came jacked up S4S.
Right.
But like, I had never.
Oh, you guys ordered S4S at the old shop?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And like,
that doesn't even seem like it's worth it.
bundles of like just crap like came bundled up as like a. What were those 100 board foot or whatever, 200 board foot
those packages that you get?
of like soft maple, you know.
Ugh.
Skip planed, or sometimes most of the times it was SLR.
All those crazy.
Yeah, so like, you know, he had
He
like
didn't
a
care if it
6-inch
wasn't,
joiner or something, so you might run something over it, but
Was
I mean-
it going right into the rip saw and like sorry.
so
What the fuck?
they would go from
Yeah.
possibly the joiner to the wide belt sander and get brought down to like,
Flatten it on a wide belt sander?
No, he would send it through the planer.
oh, well,
first.
yeah.
Wasn't joining.
Yeah. It was S4S, but it's not flat.
Yeah.
That was his favorite.
I've used a lot of S4S for a lot of the stuff that I do because I didn't have access to it.
Yeah.
It's hard. I mean, in the city, my shop is around the size, longer. Like, there's no free space power in between. Can I get a comment?
That's rough no because we have only single
I
phase,
was
but
blowing
Yeah.
the breaker 3 times a day, just doing normal stuff. Never mind, like playing around with another thing all at the same time. Like,
I only started using rough lumber because I was forced into it because the S4S was never, flat enough
Right.
to do the kind of work I was trying to do.
Yeah.
And so then by the time I got it flat, it wasn't 3/4 of an inch anymore or an inch. And I said, well, I can't get the product to do this myself.
yeah, and I don't know if there's any truth to it, but I feel like they save the better material to sell as rough. Like, maybe I'm talking out of my ass, but I feel like the quality of the rough sawn like FAS is better than the S4S FAS. Because I mean, sometimes we're getting 15/16 out of a piece of 4/4.
Yeah.
But you know the machines that used to do S4S, they have the double-sided joiner thing.
They just
It fucking rips the grain apart. And then the rip saw, they use like the rip saw that has the 2 blades in it. So it's like depending on how wide the piece is, you get this and that.
mm-hmm.
All the S4S I've ever seen always had like one horrible edge.
Yeah, and the grain might not be oriented.
The planer marks are so deep
Yeah.
it takes hours to sand them. It's like if you have the right stuff, just get rough lumber. It's cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you get a couple extra pieces, so you get to choose them, choose through them, and
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to a couple guys like about what we pay for lumber, and they're like, their jaws hit the floor.
yeah. I mean, I remember when you were like, oh, because I started like trying to hustle some wood. At one point.
yeah. Well, I think you guys are getting it the same place we get it. So,
McElvain.
oh yeah, we're getting it from O'Shea. I saw it in
same
the
shit.
in the back of your thing one time. They had
They're
that.
partners.
But yeah, I mean, we buy because we use so much hardwood. We're buying it in quantities where if you're just a guy that just does this for fun, or you build like kitchen cabinets with doors that you order, well, 300 board feet's going to last you like the whole freaking year.
Yeah, I mean, having it up on the wall, but it's just inspiring to have wood around. Like I always buy extra wood. I just ordered some like 12-quarter ash and oak just because I know I'm gonna be using it. But like, I want to have like
shack out there is filled with wood.
Yeah, I mean, we've been sitting on like 200 board feet of 8-quarter cherry for like a year, you know.
Right, and then you might get an idea, or somebody might say, "Hey, I need a tabletop next week. It's a rush job, but can you do it?" And you're like, "Yeah, we got this right here. What do you think?" You know.
Yeah.
Stuff like that happens all the time.
You know. I think you should take this next question.
You?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of your favorite tools.
Yeah, because the next question from Sal, the carpenter, on Instagram.
Oh, Sal.
He wants more Ryobi content.
Oh, this guy.
Yeah.
They blocked me on Instagram.
He saw Jeff's glue gun, his Ryobi glue gun with the Makita battery set. Yeah. He wants more. It's just not enough. And
we did have some Ryobi in the shop that was yours, Rob, but we banished it.
Yeah.
It's gone.
I have a Ryobi weed whacker. And
the Makita everything, like all the battery stuff.
I was out there with my Ryobi weed whacker with the big battery, and I had to go to, is it Home Depot or Lowe's?
Yeah, Home Depot.
Home Depot sells the Ryobi, and they were having a sale, and I just got suckered into the tool with no battery thing because it's like, wow, I got the battery at home.
Cheap.
Yeah.
I see the prices on that crap. I'm like, are you fucking serious?
Yeah,
like,
the hot glue gun was like $24.99 or something.
Yeah,
or like
with the battery
$29.99.
So it's like, oh my
god.
God.
That was your pin gun.
Yeah, so I got the 18 gauge nailer, which we did use once.
Dude, if that thing works for a week, it's worth the price.
We fired one nail over at Anand's.
No, I took it with me to do.
It worked.
Oh yeah,
Mary Steinberger.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I left it there.
We won't mention names,
but didn't we go to Anand's?
Threw it off the bridge.
We on the last piece of crown up there.
True.
That's
it
right.
worked.
We went up there. And
that's the last time it worked.
You need it for one thing.
That's it. It's in a milk crate in the basement right now.
Yeah, I mean, I have like that $500 Grex, and it gave me more heartache than.
I refuse to buy those things.
That's my third one or second
I
one.
buy like old Porter cable guns and like old Hitachi stuff off Big Sky Tool.
Yeah, Big Sky Tool's good.
Sal's funny because Sal I used to go in on, me and him were on this forum on Facebook. With all these carpenters all over the world or whatever, and he would always be like posting his stuff, and I'd be like, "What is that? What's that? What? I've never seen that tool before." Just like joking with him, and he would get so bent out of shape because it's like you're not giving it a chance and all this stuff. I'm just like, I'm never going to. You're not going to change my mind. Like,
yeah.
But he does great work, and he does.
Yeah, Sal's got a bunch of those. I think the 18 gauge. I mean, I understand people's like reasoning, like it's cheap and if it works, then it's fine. But
for some reason, Ryobi has a fan club.
Oh yeah, big time.
Well, Rigid now, isn't it right? Rigid Ryobi.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's the same thing.
Is it the color?
No,
it's made by the same people.
Green.
No, I mean,
it's
what creates the fan base?
Oh, I have no idea. I think because they're cheap and you can like beat on them and. They might not perform the best, but they like kind of keep going.
Keep chugging.
I think it's based off of price.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Like I can get this and it works for cheap.
Harbor Freight is a shit show.
Yeah. Oh man, I've worked on some commercial jobs with the guys with all the Bauer tools from Harbor Freight, like a full kit of them.
What a Chicago pneumatic chop saw.
Yeah, and that Bauer stuff isn't even that cheap.
When you touch that thing, you know it's bad.
Those are real prices on those tools.
You remember Lou's saw? He had that Ryobi saw.
Yeah.
It opened a full 90 degrees from.
Oh my god!
And it had no guard. So it was like if it was running and you walked by, you would just be like completely gutted open. Yeah.
One time I was on a job and these guys were claiming that they wanted they hired me to be Mr. High-End Craftsman guy on this deck. It was like this huge rooftop deck.
Oh, New York.
And we had to scribe around some stuff and whatever. It was they were concerned with the screws being in a straight line, the framing being really nice, and we did all of that. I can show you pictures. It came out really well. Then they started They started thinking we were too slow. They wanted us to do all these other like fences and stuff on the roof, and we were like, I'm not going to be able to get to that until like December. Like, what are you talking about? So they hired just like, I don't know. I was like, where are you finding these guys? The Home Depot parking lot, because like these guys would show up with one guy had a Ryobi saw, similar to what you're talking about, no guard, which was whatever. I had a saw without a guard for a long time, but the blade couldn't cut Ipe. Like we were cutting Ipe, and it was like smoking the blade, and the guy's holding it down on it so hard,
starts to wobble like
screaming.
this.
It's like, and the GC comes over, and I look at him. I go, I'm about to walk off this fucking thing. Like if you got guys like this showing up, like you're talking to me about how we got to be safe, we got to wear hard hats. This guy doesn't even have a saw blade on his saw. Like there's no teeth left on this thing. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like. You're full of, like, I had to call him out because I can't deal with that shit.
Yeah, the bar is pretty low.
It really is, and that's the problem with a lot of that shit because like they want to pay you whatever they want to pay you. They want you to do your best work, then they want to throw in some other guy.
Yeah, pick up the slack.
But then like, where's the separation between like, oh well, I did that, you can tell, but then this guy did that, you can tell, and it's like, who did it? Then I don't tell anybody I did that job anymore because no one's going to care.
Yeah, that's like benchmark.
Yeah.
The guy who
put the kitchen that Rob, did you build it with Rob or just help him install?
Yeah, you helped me build that.
Yeah.
So
Put your guy's kitchen on the side of his van.
Yeah.
And he put in the tile floor.
He put in the tile floor, and he's got a van wrap with the picture of kitchen that Rich and I built on it.
It's real nice.
And we're like driving down the road one day when we see it. We're like, what the?
Yeah, I saw it at Home Depot a couple times.
No way.
Yeah. All right. What's next, Rich?
what are your favorite or least favorite pieces of furniture to build and why? This is from Ryan Hinchy.
Yeah, I'd say Hinchy.
Check out his Afrobeat band, the Brighton Beat.
Yeah.
No, we don't need another Afrobeat band.
Rich not a big fan of that.
I'm still trying to figure out who killed his mother.
Nigerian government, that too.
Rest in peace, Fela Kuti.
Yeah, so what is your favorite or least favorite piece of furniture to build?
Yeah, I guess he means like a table or a dresser or like what? Yeah.
Oh man. Lately I've been making a lot of tables. I do love a table. It's a place where people come and they get together, and it's a long lasting.
Yeah.
It's an experiential piece. I do love chairs. It's like I have all these ideas for things that I want to make. I just haven't gotten to them. You know, how do I explain this? I mean, I just did a TV show where I built 5 challenges in 5 weeks, which was interesting because we didn't even have time to really think about stuff that you would normally get to think about. We were just like doing it. But I mean, anything, I kind of don't love things with a lot of drawers in them. That's probably my least favorite thing to make.
You were taking the words right out of my head.
Anything that doesn't have a lot of drawers, I would say, is still like and very enjoyable to me. I think once you start adding drawer boxes and a lot of hardware, it starts to. I also love pieces that have multiple functions, like a built-in that has storage, or a piece that has 3 or 4 pieces that are all they combine and they make one like vibe, I guess you could say.
What about you, Jeff?
I like the kind of weird, like one-off stuff. Like, we did the altar rail for the church. We did the confessionals for the church just because they're so, like purpose built that it's not really, doesn't really have like
there's no models for it. Really.
Yeah. There's a lot of problems that pop up that you have to solve and a lot of specific conditions that you need to meet. So I'm into that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Rich?
Yeah, I don't like repetitive work. It's just like everything we do is kind of new.
Yeah.
Right. Even if we make another bookcase or another blanket chest, it's still going to be a little bit different.
Don't repeat much around here.
Yeah, no, we don't.
No,
and that's what's great about it.
Me too. That's why it's hard. It's hard for me to answer that question honestly because I do, like I was doing a record console with cane doors, and then the next week I'm making a table like out of cherry, and then I'm making these different furniture pieces for different. Another thing that happens is people hit me up to make their furniture lines that they design. So these are already talented people that are coming up with really cool ideas that now I get to translate them to real life, which is cool because like I would have never thought to do that. So now I'm like, well, that's an idea.
Another arrow and quiver.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you do commission work, like we don't really get a choice to pick what we're going to build. We have to build what the client brings to us. So
We might not like it.
Yeah, I mean, if I had a choice to build a line of furniture. I'm going to build this table and this. Well, my answer might be different, but we have to just build whatever comes through the door.
Ask, I'm like Will. A dovetail is nice. If there's one or two involved in the project, maybe you're making a case with dovetails. But I'm the drawer guy here, and it's like in the kitchen. I'm there for a week.
Totally. And there's like
all this dovetails. And when you think you're like on top of it, and you're stacking your pods.
You made all those with a jig?
Yeah, we do it all.
Yeah, that kitchen had how many 40 drawer boxes?
Yeah, it was a lot. It's a week.
Half
all
full bottoms.
No, 3/8. We went to 3/8 bottoms because it fits
Hardwood,
better.
though, right?
No, not for a kitchen. We do.
I was gonna say that's insane.
Yeah, because of the move.
And they're through dovetails.
We're not that crazy.
Yeah, so it's all through dovetails. They make them, sand them.
Oh yeah.
Finish them.
Then the bloom hardware. Then you got to drill the hole. You got to cut the notches.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you can buy a drawer box for $40, and that's for like the good one.
It's insane.
Eagle Woodworking, yeah.
Yeah, we have used a place, New Jersey drawer boxes.
At Cider Pressers, they have. I swear to God, there's a drawer box stack that fits inside this room right now.
Oh, I bet.
And all the stuff that they're doing, it's the size of this room.
Oh God!
It's up to the ceiling too. It's like this entire room is drawer boxes for the project that they're doing. They get them dropped off every day. It's insane.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we do take some pride in our drawer boxes. I mean, it is a point of pride.
That is a beautiful, like when a kitchen, you can always tell, like as for, of us guys like us and people who pay attention.
First thing you do is open up a drawer, right?
Right. And like, I've been in these super amazing homes in the Hamptons and I open up a drawer and I'm like, well, that's cool. Or I'm like, well, are you fucking kidding me? Like this is what the kitchen, and you know that somebody charged them lots of money for that kitchen.
Custom.
Yeah. The best is when you open it and it's like a walnut drawer box, but it's those shitty half blinds and they're not flush. And it's like you put in walnut drawer boxes and they suck.
Oh yeah, I saw one that was maple. It was maple with walnut edge banding on the top, but it was like a thick edge banding. And I was like, what the fuck is this combination? There was no walnut in the house anywhere. There was no maple in the house. Okay. It was high gloss it was the coolest molding I've ever seen. It was the coolest trim package I've ever seen. It was the house where the original American flag was made.
Oh wow.
The first version of it, I guess, in Sag Harbor, New York. And they've recently redone it, so it's like all freshly renovated, and they had like, I guess the molding was like a 3-stack everywhere though, like the just door moldings, high gloss gray, probably like 8 to 10 inches wide, like super deep, like 10-quarter, but it was one piece of wood. It was poplar or something, and it was like, I was like, that's fucking cool.
Yeah, the more trim, the better.
Ballsy, Yeah. But it was like a statement piece, When you walked in the room, you're like, really? They did this everywhere in here? It's crazy.
Yeah, you see a lot of people trying to replicate that sort of look, but usually it blows up on impact. What we got next? This is, again, from Jack Thornton. Please ask Will where he draws inspiration for his work. I've always been interested in his design aesthetic.
I mean, my favorite, I guess, is George Nakashima. I don't think I try to emulate him, but I just love like that organic vibe of like, if you read up on him, Jack, you'll see there's a lot of cool aspects of his life where he brings his work and life intertwine, and a lot of my inspiration comes from books and not so much YouTube. I'd say a lot of Japanese woodworkers I'm obsessed with. I think I love the stuff that you guys make. I think is really cool. I think it's cool that you're I don't see a lot of people making Craftsman style and Stickley style stuff, and I think you're just executing it really well, and it's like cool that you're local to Jersey, and just like a lot of cool designer type people that show me stuff and like interior design all as a whole, I guess you could say. Like when you walk into a room and everything kind of works, you're like, okay, I want to be a part of something like this. So it's like once you get to that level of where you're not just making something, you're making something that works with the whole experience of a room. that's something that keeps me going and wants me to make more cool shit. Really, it's just like I'm inspired by making things, and the more I make things, the more ideas I get, and the more I see things come together. I might change an idea, or I might say, hey, I'm never going to make this again, but that was cool. I'm glad we did it, whatever. So there's like a lot of designers from the 40s and 50s that I'm into, like, Charlotte Perriand I love. I love, like, and Donald Judd I love, which is just super simple shapes, basically, but he turns it into, like, this amazing thing that he does with his art, And I love the idea of, like, artist craftsman kind of vibe where, I might do a sculpture one day and I have no idea what I'm about to do. I put a piece of wood on a table and I take out a chainsaw, and, we've been microdosing and stuff like that, but like that might help a little bit, but like, I'm just like in this idea of like where I started. Like I explained, I basically started from nothing. So it's like, I don't have anyone to judge what I do. I don't give a shit what you think about what I do. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to try it. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then I failed, and I know that I failed. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? You just got to not give a shit.
Yeah.
And if you think, like, because there's other guys I've like, oh, what's somebody going to think about? Oh, somebody else did that. And like, I'll catch myself doing something that I saw and not knowing where that came from. And then I know, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I copied that because I saw it in my head. And that happens to me at Love House all the time, because Love House has all these new contemporary designers. And I'll be like drawing something in my book. Oh man, I really love this thing. And I'll like show somebody, and then they're like, don't they have that at Love House right now? Or like that details on something. I'm like, damn it, I knew I got it from somewhere, but
well, it's like music. Like everything's already been done, really. Yeah. So it's all just a riff on something else.
You wake up and you got this great song in your head, and you realize it's Satisfaction.
Yeah.
So this kind of ties into the next question.
Yeah.
It's from Kevin Lauk on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
How do you decide the proportions for a project? Do you eyeball it? Is it more experience? You want to expand on that?
100%. Like I think Max tells people this is like I very rarely work off drawings like for my own projects. I kind of just start making something, and I know it's the right thing to do in a way, and I know that not everybody has that, and I know that that's like an ability that might be a gift in some way, but it's very much like it's going to look good. And like I said about, if you're looking at this wall right now and that there's not as much room on that side as there is on this side. So we might have to do something over here to make that not look like that. So you have to flub things like that sometimes. And if you're working in a house that isn't perfectly level, that doesn't mean your piece has to be perfectly level. The client might want it to line up with the way that you're walking in the room and shit like that. Right. So a lot of that stuff is vision, and a lot of it is like the proportions of something, I guess. I definitely have made a lot of mistakes making them look really weird at times, or just basing it off of just classic, math and stuff.
Right. There's definely the golden ratio.
Sequence and golden ratio.
Yeah.
Yeah. I find myself doing like, multiples of 1.618. Because I don't have an eye for it. I have to actually do the math.
Tool and all that shit. But what else was I going to say? I mean, it's funny. Somebody was saying something. It was excellence remodeling. We were talking about something, and I was like, I always go to 16 on stuff sometimes because I can see right there's 16. Like when you grew up, I grew up framing houses, so it's like I know what that looks like.
Yeah.
So it's like, I know that might not work here. Like if you're making a chair, 16's a nice width, 18's a nice width. And then if you wanted to make like an obnoxiously wide, comfy chair, who's telling you that it can't be this wide where your arms are up here and they're on a cushion and you're sitting really low or something like That's like, people saw that last chair that I did with like Claude Home and they're like, oh, that looks so weird. It's so low to the ground. I'm like, it's fucking comfortable. Sit in it. Like it doesn't have to be what you think a chair is. Like there's no rules to this shit. Like there are to some people. Those people are square, you got to be an adventurer. Yeah, you really do. And I don't know. I kind of don't stop experimenting. Like, I think that's a thing that's quite a few people have told me over the last, like, oh, I love how much you experiment. And I'm just like, well, I think that's a big part of this stuff is really figuring that kind of stuff out. And finding your own aesthetic is based off of experimentation.
There you go. Find your own.
Right. and like
language
and it's based off of other pieces of furniture that I love and other craftsmen. But it's like, do you want to be someone else or do you want to have your own thing? And that's hard as fuck to do, especially to make money doing it too. You know?
Yeah, I think it's something that you have to have some innate ability to be able to do, even if you set out to, you know, carve your own niche, you know, and forge this identity. You might not have the ability to do it. I think those who've been successful had that drive, but they also had that inner ability for whatever reason, if it's a gift or what have you.
So sort of the idea of if you're listening to a record, like, you know, you got all your favorite guitar players and drummers and stuff. I know my favorite drummer when he hits a snare drum. Like, he doesn't have to hit anything else. I know it's him. You know what I mean? You hear that.
Yeah.
Like, there he is.
That's it.
Or that's like that one guitar tone that somebody has, and you're like, that's got to be him. Like, you know?
Right.
And like a lot of music is really cool like that. And you know, there's furniture and art that is exactly like that too. And you're like, well, that must have been his earlier work. You know, because like you can see where they're developing into this whole thing.
I mean, I was influenced a lot by Frank Lloyd Wright.
Oh yeah.
In the way he approached the houses as being this whole, and you spoke of this experience as you walk into the room. He wanted, you know, the roof, the ceiling lower so that you could
when it opens back up.
And how he'd make the furniture and the pieces all specific. And we carry that through in our work. We go to their homes and
he made the plates. He made the knives.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
He was extremely.
That's the coolest thing.
Exactly cool. It's so cool. So
like with Cheryl Parker, how do you use this? Where do you put it in your home?
Right. Like a meeting isn't just like, what do you want? It's like, we got to see. I always do that. I have to see where it's going.
We ask people questions. I think they must say to themselves, why is he asking me this?
I'm sure they do.
Like, what are the very specific, the most specific functions of this piece?
Yeah.
Like, do you have something that you're going to put on it? What is it?
Yeah.
How big is it?
Right.
Because you show up and you put it in, and then, oh, well, I put this, whatever. I put this statue, I used to put it where I had the other thing, and now it doesn't fit. Well, then we failed because we're supposed to figure that out.
Yeah, and the proportion is, Kevin, it's great that you even are considering that, because proportion is really, it's everything. And there are certain classic examples, you know, the golden ratio. I mean, the Greeks and the Parthenon, how there's really, you know, the straight lines aren't straight and the circles aren't circles. It's all to look right. So half the answer is if it looks right, it's right.
Yeah,
pretty much. If it feels right to your eye and feels good to your body, then that's the right.
You know, if you're inexperienced, there's the classic examples to sort of get you grounded into where's a good place to start that most people think looks right. And in
I think a good example of this is if you're making like a shelf and like, you know, where half of, you know, how to cut that in half, you know, how to separate it into thirds, fourths, fifths, then you can decide, do I like that busyness with 5 shelves? Do I like it with 4? Will it be, can I split it in half and do 3 on this side and 2 big ones on this side? It's like, you can do all those things in your head. Mm-hmm. You don't need to do it with wood.
Right.
But some people can, I guess. Or you could draw it, or whatever way you need to do it. You need to try it, because you might like make it and then you're like looking at it and you're bummed out. It's like, don't be bummed out. Try it again. Try something else. I don't know. Like, that's how people are.
Yeah, you need discovery. You gotta sail away into the horizon to discover.
Another fire truck going by.
I know, man. They've been crazy.
Like a dozen today.
Well, this question's from Adam. You know what? I almost said that. For Out Woodworks. Far Out Woodworks on Instagram. What's your current passion project?
Oh my god. I'm trying to make a furniture line right now, and I think it's definitely more of a struggle than I thought it would be, and I definitely want to stand out from the crowd. And unfortunately I'm not being compared to anybody, but I'm in a world of a bunch of cool people that are making furniture, and I want to be able to impress them, and I want to be able to sell stuff. And as much as I like doing commissions, but I want to have basically a website with a click to buy kind of vibe, and still work with designers with commissions, but I'm going towards that route.
You know anything about Moser? Is that like a business model similar to what Thomas Moser?
Moser, yeah.
Yeah.
It is a business model. At the end of the day, it's kind of a lifestyle thing. It's kind of like I want to have a shop with a wood burning stove, and I want to fucking crank tunes all day and just make stuff, and I want to have to make prototypes that for other shops to make, and that kind of stuff, because like I'm becoming like this specialist in certain ways.
There you go.
But probably passion project would be that, or it's definitely that, because it's like it's a culmination of the last probably 6-7 years come together.
We'd love to be kept abreast of the progress.
Oh yeah.
I'm sending. Well, he actually started the first drawings of it. That's why it's pretty cool that I'm here. Yeah, the chair.
I had the crash course myself.
He did a bar cart like that I don't really love, but it was cool. I wanted to just see stuff, because that's how I have these things in my head, and then I draw them on paper, and I'm like, this isn't good enough to show anybody. Let me see if Jeff can do.
Is that a Giardon?
A Giardon?
Yeah, it's cool.
Well, that kind of touches on Kevin's question too. Like, if you can start to draw in scale on SketchUp or something like that. That'll help you start to see these proportions and work.
We get a lot of napkin drawings from designers. And nothing's in scale, so they'll put like 5 doors across something and say, this is going to be 42 inches wide. Well, those really aren't doors then. Those
are 9-inch doors.
That's a pull-out for spices.
Let me explain something to you real quick.
We had the one that was 10 feet wide with standard height ceilings, and it was like this tall, skinny, thing. Like, you do realize that 10 feet's wider than 8 feet high.
That was a delicate conversation.
Yeah, when I was doing this show thing with Mark Grattan, he's really good at SketchUp, and he's really good at just completely like translating this like visionary idea into a SketchUp drawing in like very short amount of time. So working with him, it's like I already have that mindset where I'm like kind of okay with a scratch drawing, because I kind of get it.
Mm-hmm.
But with him, he's very, very particular about details and very, very detail oriented. Everything matters, every single thing. So I learned a lot from just being around him every day for 5 weeks, which is a little crash course in somebody else's brain, basically, which I think is important to do these days. When you work, you guys get to do it all.
We had that. I mean, that was some of the hardest stuff to overcome the first 6 months, because I was the main designer, and I would just draw the skin of something, and I go, I already know how this is going to go together. Right. Well, I know I'm going to add that detail. But now there's 3 of us working on it, and so all day it was like, Rob, what happens here? Rob, what happens there?
Yeah, we're trying to line up the work so that we stay out of each other's way and we all stay busy. So,
it's like,
I'm sure we could all like just look at a elevation drawing of a cabinet and say, okay, and of a whole kitchen, and build the entire kitchen.
Each of us could do it on our own, but as a trio, it's harder, actually.
Yeah. Are you able to talk about the show at all? Any of the details?
I mean, NDAs only mean so much. I mean,
remember, number 2 design podcast in Slovenia.
It's a design challenge show for HBO Max. It was 5 weeks. Every Monday we got a challenge. And we didn't know what we were going to do the next week, and we had to complete it. So Monday was a design day. Tuesday was a dark day, no cameras. So we got to build a lot of stuff if we had our materials ready, but that could also not work out. So let's just say on the last week this happened. We ordered fabric on Tuesday, didn't get there till Friday. We upholstered a whole couch on Friday night until 5 a.m. That's where I was last week. We did a mixture of wood and metal, glass. We used a lot of upholstery things. We did some really wild projects. I'm very excited to see how they edit it.
That'll.
I think we have a great chance of winning the show. We already heard that we're in the top 2, so that'll be cool.
Ooh.
The winner gets $100,000. I think we're going to donate it to something.
That would be awesome. I'm going to throw in a plug for Popcorn Park Animal Rescue down in Lacey.
Okay.
It's my wife and I. We donate quite a bit down there. We rescue. We adopt animals per se. They're all wild animals.
I have a rescue. So dog.
We have a pig and 2 squirrels down there.
Oh my god!
But they have like bears and camels.
Really?
Oh yeah, they're all
In Lacey?
yeah. It's like a zoo of sorts,
Dad
but they're
lives-
all old
Oh.
or injured
I
animals.
know what you're talking about. My dad lives
Yeah.
in Bayville.
Yeah. So we go down there and walk through. It's a great experience, and they always need plenty of cash.
You're telling me you have squirrels in Popcorn Park. You have enough squirrels in this backyard.
Yeah, those are albino squirrels that have medical issues. So, these here, they have no issues. My squirrels, I probably have about 20 live-in squirrels here that eat like they're at the old
Yeah,
Nicholas.
they eat better than me, I think.
Yeah. All right, let's keep it moving.
It's almost like the same question. Well, it's a little bit different,
Yeah,
but
you kind of touched on it a little bit.
yeah, Jack Thornton again. How do you market your services, and what do you market yourself as?
Oh man, I used to market myself as a carpenter. I think I kind of don't even market myself anymore. I think stuff just keeps coming in word of mouth via Instagram, the internet, whatever. I used to be on Yelp. I used to build a lot of loft beds. I used to do anything to make money. I'd build a fence. I'd build a loft bed. I do want to get more specific once the furniture line comes out, and I want to have my website will be much different, and I'm working on that right now, the aesthetics of that. Yeah, I mean, I am a carpenter. I'm a woodworker. I'm a woodsmith. I'm a fucking, I don't know, like, I do things with wood, and I know how to make it into whatever you want, but I say I get to pick and choose what I do. And like, that's a big part. That's a big part of marketing yourself, is not doing the wrong project for yourself, because then you don't want someone to see that thing that you did that you don't like, so don't show it. You know, because then you're gonna get mixed up with some other type of person or craftsman or whatever. And what was the end of the question?
What do you
Call yourself?
How do you market yourself?
What do you market yourself as?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think
I
the
was saying
ultimate
mill worker for a long time. I was just saying custom carpenter mill worker, which I still think holds true, because millwork companies make furniture all the time, and I do furniture production. So I make pieces for not only myself and clients, but I'm partnered with a couple of people that they have designs that I build, and we are partnered on the exchanging of money and the sales of them and stuff like that.
What do you call yourself, Rich, if somebody asks you, what do you do?
Retired. You know what? I use the term cabinet maker because I also tell them that it's a broad term. I work for some great craftsmen that call themselves cabinet shops or cabinet makers, and so that's what I call myself. I'm not a woodworker.
You know, it's funny. I was having a conversation with an older woman the other night, and she was, "Oh, what do you do?" Blah blah blah. And I was telling her, and she was like, "Oh, what kind of furniture?" And I was telling her, I was trying to describe it because it's kind of in between a bunch of different styles or whatever. And then she was like, "Oh, what about this?" And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, I do built-ins and I do cabinets." "Oh my God, you're a cabinet maker?" And it was like, that was the most impressive thing to her.
Yeah.
Everything I was saying was just like, "Oh, okay, you must be some guy."
People take that term and they don't understand it. They think cabinet maker, you're a Formica guy,
Or you could say you're a joiner.
Yeah,
that would go over people's heads.
Yeah,
that's really what the term is.
It's almost like calling a furniture maker, a cabinet maker feels like calling a carpenter a construction worker,
right? Or a contractor.
Yeah, like it's a little bit of like a
You're
down
a contractor, and I'm like, no, contractors don't do anything. They set jobs up. That's what contractors
they make phone
do.
calls.
Yeah, they sit in their fucking truck. Like, I know a lot of contractors that don't know how to do anything that goes on in this place. Like, they take plywood and put it on a wall, or they take sheetrock. Most of them,
and they just have guys that do that. They don't even really a lot of times know.
I think right after I started, I found I couldn't describe myself or my vocation, living, whatever, with an ER at the end of it. And I would just say I design and build custom furniture.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it before, where it's like all the adjectives have kind of been co-opted, so there's not really a good way. Custom has been bastardized. Bespoke just sounds like a little too.
Bespoke is kind of pretentious.
Yeah,
British.
and like overly used.
Artisanal.
Yeah, that same thing. Overused and corrupted.
Right.
I say the same thing as you now. Design and build custom furniture and cabinets.
Yeah, I think custom definitely has been bastardized. I mean, it's good to have that in your little blurb if that's what you're looking for.
Just doesn't hold a lot of weight.
Yeah, because people will see that and they'll say, "Oh, okay, maybe we'll see if you can do this thing." But yeah, there's been lots of years of just making whatever someone wanted me to make them. So
yeah, and I think what you said before, like about not really marketing yourself. I mean, that's really the ultimate goal, is to have a like a known niche and reputation where you don't have to market yourself. When someone hears Wild Willy's Woodshop, they know the type of product and the type of work and that kind of stuff. So I think that's really the ultimate goal for any business of this sort, is to just have your own reputation, and rather than market, the work is kind of coming to you and they already have an idea of what it's all about.
yeah, I mean, I'm very lucky in that way, but yeah, it's happening.
The curiosity is that how would have, I had the thought of my head and it just escaped, but the old time woodworkers, how they marketed themselves and how they got business. Do you think it was easier back then, or do you think it's easier now to market us, but you have a client base that basically doesn't know what they want? You know what I'm trying to say? It's like, you guys, the young guys now, you have all this social media to work with. The old time guys, Moser, Maloof, people like that, they didn't have that.
There are less choices in the marketplace, though.
Right. And if you did work for a wealthy family, and then your other wealthy friends came over and they saw your rocking chair, then Sam Maloof was busy, had a waiting list when he died of hundreds of people. You know what I mean? So like that guy, that's an exception to that. I think there's people who have made furniture their whole lives who don't have a waiting list. They're skimming by.
Yeah.
I used to find woodworking years, and when I was younger, I used to read it all the time.
Right. Just because
I know who they are.
And also he had a way with words. Like, he was known as a socialite. He was hanging out with the president. He was hanging out with what's his name?
Yeah.
He had a chair in the White House. Like, a lot of those guys are cool people. You know what I mean? A lot of the guys that are like if you have a party and you meet the furniture maker, you've been looking for a furniture maker to do something at your house. You like you like this guy, you're gonna give him your money. It's not a marketing thing, it's a people thing.
Yeah.
It's a, are you cool thing.
Relationships.
You can market yourself whatever, but if you show up and you're an asshole, then nobody gives a fuck. Like, it's true. It's like you could have the coolest website, the nicest looking Instagram, all these fucking beautiful photos of this is our team and like this is what we do, but then you put out shit work. It doesn't matter. Like, all that shit doesn't matter. The work matters, and the way you treat people matters, and that's really what it is. Like, you could talk about what you want to do all day and all that crap, but you get caught up in that shit, and there's no substance to that.
That's how you build your business.
Yeah, it's so much more than just building the furniture.
100%.
And coming from the service industry, I think it's a total leg up to be able to just know how to talk to clients.
Oh, dude, when you have a good experience with a waiter at a restaurant, you're always going to go back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same situation.
Jeff's really good at that stuff.
I got thrown into
As a waiter?
Well, yeah.
He talks to our clients. He does most of the talking.
Yeah, it's because I can remember what I'm talking about.
That's another reason.
But I started out as a busboy, and then I don't know, one of the waiters got fired or something, so I got thrown in at 15 years old, and I'm waiting on tables at a nice Italian restaurant, people that are 4 or 5 times my age. So I had to figure out how to talk to people, from that age and make it sound like I knew what I was talking about, which helped me in the future with just dealing
How
with.
come you can't talk to me?
What do you mean? I talk to you all day.
Not like that.
Rich, what is this? Is this a real question from Tom McGuire?
Yeah, Tom McGuire. He bought the first set of plans that we put up.
Tom
Thanks,
McGuire NJ on Instagram?
Yeah. Local guy.
What up, Tom?
are Greene Street tank tops going to be a thing, or do I have to go sleeveless like Rich? This was custom made for me.
Yeah, we had to order
These were
those.
custom made. This is not cut.
There's only 6 in existence.
Exactly. And if you want one,
we might be able to make it happen for you, Tom. And
Cost more.
no, we weren't even thinking about doing tank top.
maybe in the summertime.
I just like cut-offs. I don't like a tank top per se. I just like cut-off.
No spaghetti straps.
No. It's,
Jeff, you want to touch on Tom's purchase today?
Oh, about the plans? Yeah. So we put out a set of plans today for Craftsman style Adirondack chair. Get it over on the website.
Yeah.
We're actually they're on sale for $5. We'll probably bring that up to like $7.50 is what we were planning on doing. So we're trying to keep it affordable. We actually have a coupon code American Craftsman 10% off until Friday. So you get a set of plans.
As our very, very first purchaser, we're going to throw Tom an extra set.
The matching ottoman and side table.
Yeah.
You deserve it, Tom.
Maybe we're going to get in on some of Wild Willie's plans. I don't know.
That'll be the day. I plan on it. I don't even know. I plan on it.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. I mean, how many hours you put into that?
It took, I thought it was going to be nothing.
Because we already have like the drawings. Like drawings are done.
So I had the drawings of this.
You don't want to see me on
Of this chair. Yeah. And so I said, I'll just, extrapolate the little details here. Given I already had the full SketchUp drawing, solid days to create it into.
Yeah, and you've built this. You built like 8 of these chairs.
Yeah, these are chairs I've done many times. So now I'm trying to go through my head. What do they really need to know? How much am I going to tell them or take for granted that they're building a chair? They need to know at least this. Right. But yeah, it was 2 days. I figured it would take 2 hours. So,
but came out good though.
Yeah, we want to bring people into the fold. Yeah. I think with the drawings and the plans, somebody could, if they're really just a novice, do something like this.
Totally. And that's really what it comes down to. Like,
and we're available.
People that availability.
Shoot us a message, say, "I'm stuck on this," or "Hey, dummy, you left out the dimension right here. What is this supposed to be?"
Yeah, and we got to diversify. It's tough being a woodworker these days. So.
Yeah. Let me ask you, Willie. This is from. Is it? Oh, this is from us.
Yeah, this is your.
Oh, this was my question. So literally, let me ask you.
Things.
Do you think you would have moved out of Brooklyn if it wasn't for COVID? And follow up. What are the main differences between working in a more rural place like New Hope compared to?
Oh
Brooklyn?
man. Yes, I do think I would have. It was stress I don't do well with. I was having issues with like anxiety, a little bit of depression here and there, having like that feeling that you don't want to get out of bed. And I never thought I would ever be there. I'm like, I work for myself. I do something I love. Like I'm definitely struggling with, some mental health issues came up.
We relate to that.
Oh yeah, no, I mean they came up pretty hardcore, especially in the winter, seasonal depression. But that's like kind of where it started, and then I would just be like nervous to face the world at times, and like have a lot on my shoulders, and have a lot of people relying on me. So, would take on too much work because I'm definitely a hard worker, and I don't ever think that I'm taking too much work on at the time. And then I'm like, I would get into positions where, I'd owe people money, and then I'd have the work at the same day. I'd be like, oh my, what the fuck is happening? I couldn't handle certain things. I needed to help her. I mean, I needed help with some of the jobs, and just, I think that all of that combined was like, maybe I need to get the hell out of here and like try some little bit of a different lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, I mean, I think I slowed down a lot right when COVID started, and then I got right back into building a lot of stuff because designers were still hitting me up, and right at that time I had released a couple pictures of projects that I was really proud of that had been taking a long time to come down the line with the photos, and the way that some of these designers work is they don't release anything until like it's a nice, but they get a really good photographer to come shoot it. Just so happened to be in the New York Times like Sunday magazine, and then like that audience basically. And I would say my quality of life out there is way better. I am very into nature and hiking and doing all those things, and I just think like being around a city environment for me was a lot of fun. And now I'm getting a little older. I'm not really like, I love to go to the bar with my buddies, but I'm not going out and looking for fucking ass and shit anymore. Like I just don't. It's like, yeah, that's cool, but like that you get caught up in that life, like it's like that party thing. And I already did the party. I've done the party thing. It's like,
how about parking right in front of where you live? How's that feel?
That's amazing. It's unbelievable.
Isn't it an amazing feeling to pull in?
I had to have a parking garage. It was like all this extra money being spent every week. Like,
you have your own washer and dryer.
Oh God, yeah. It's so easy to go out to dinner every night. You know what I mean? Like, I would be talking to people and they're like, "Oh, what are you doing?" They're like, "Oh, I'm cooking tonight." I'm like, "Oh man, my girlfriend doesn't get home from work until 9:30. Like, we're gonna $1,000 a week on food sometimes. Like, just doing nothing because you're bored and you want to get out of the house. And it's like,
yeah.
And I loved my apartment and I loved it all. It was like something that I was very proud of. Like, basically took out a room and did all custom, like I did all the furniture and all like the shelving, and like we had a big Noguchi lamp like hanging over the table, and just a lot of cool shit. But I'm totally over it. Basically, also having a shop there, it was so much stress. It's just way too stressful.
All right,
I'm a different person now, pretty much.
We're glad for you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, being such a big Nakashima, but like being in a more natural environment, you feel more inspired versus being in the city. Because that's really where all the Nakashima.
I wake up in the morning and it's just so beautiful. It's like the leaves have been changing. There's just cornfield, there's horses, there's cows. Like, you can't get mad at that shit. You can get mad if you're spending someone's glass and there's a domestic violence dispute right in front of your face. Those things happen every day. I blocked that out of my mind, like it's not possible.
Oh yeah.
Based off of just driving. Like you would just see the most outlandish shit and be like, you start like flipping out in your car right before you even did anything for the day, and like that's the kind of stuff that doesn't really happen like in suburbs, or really out there is even more suburban. It's very
you used to have to just step over people as you would leave your building.
Literally,
People sleeping in your doorwell, or it toughens you up. Well, I won't say it makes you get a little numb. You have to close down some of your senses with this, whether that's, your sight or smell or hear right.
I never got triggering me that shouldn't have been, and it was based off of like the amount of stress I was dealing with. A lot of stress came from not really having a mentor. You know what I mean? Didn't really grow up with anybody teaching me any of that stuff. I have very few business mentors because like the people that are those people, they don't really understand the design world, I guess. So like sometimes there's like, oh, so what about don't you charge per like hour there? And I'm like, no, because it doesn't make sense to. Or like they'll be like, what do you mean? You're not making any sense. And I'm like, I'm not making any sense to you, but I've been doing this for this long and it makes sense to me, so I'm going to keep doing it. And then, you got to just develop things as you go with some of the stuff. Like, there's no book about it. There are.
No. Mentoring is a great topic that we might, talk about on an upcoming show. Maybe when you come back,
Yeah, I would love to.
we could pencil that in as a great topic because being either a mentor or a mentee is a wonderful opportunity.
100%.
Not everybody gets it, and it's probably one of the biggest life-changing relationships you can have, I think.
100%. That's Max and I's relationship. We're good friends, but at the end of the day, he's been able to see a new world.
Oh yeah,
based off of being a woodworker, and a lot of the people that he knows from the modeling world and stuff are lost. Like they definitely have not. They didn't learn any skills, and they thought they were just going to be the shit for the rest of their life and be this fucking good-looking dude with his shirt off on the cover of a magazine, which you can make a ton of money, but like, there's a lot of fun in this world that we're in, and there's a lot of satisfaction and a lot of when you go to bed at night, that you accomplished something, and I think that holds true to a lot of careers. But I think like for a kid who is maybe a little lost, or I definitely want to. I keep going all over the place, but I definitely want to continue to teach. In a way, in any capacity, and I would love to teach maybe the underprivileged type person who because as much as my parents divorced at a very young age, I didn't have a father figure. I definitely didn't get lost in a drug world or anything, but I was just a fucking pain in the ass. I didn't know
These guys are laughing because I had a similar experience growing up without parents, and it's so easy as a kid if there's nobody just to say, don't do that.
Yeah.
Because just think of how many bad decisions you're going to make.
Oh yeah.
Innocently.
Trial and error.
Yeah.
But I tell people all the time, if I didn't like do the things I do, like drumming, BMX, those things also led me to this career as well, because you have to kind of not be afraid to try.
Yeah, I also raced BMX.
On a bike.
Funny.
On a bike, it's just you and the bike. Yeah. On a drum set, you could be in your basement for the whole day and not learn that thing that you're trying to do, and you'd be so frustrated. But the next day you come back, it's a little easier.
Yeah.
This stuff takes a long time to do. You can't you can beat yourself up about it, but there's a way to approach it where it becomes therapeutic for sure, and learning skills that can make you money, but also learning skills that make beautiful things. I think it's very, very satisfying, especially for, I think a lot of young kids are missing out on stuff like that, especially with the way that they're just staring at the fucking computer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we get a level of fulfillment out of our job that a lot of people don't get. I mean, if you sit in an office and you're making phone calls back and forth and sit on the computer, trading numbers with people, when you go home, I mean, what did you really do? Our work is transcending generations, so it's going to be there for, hopefully hundreds of years.
I used to tell Christopher, my apprentice, it's not a race. Do it right. The speed will come. Don't worry about anything except doing it right.
Mm-hmm.
Go over there. I'll check your work. I'll let you know how it's coming along.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, I want it to be done well so that I don't have to go back and do it again. Sure. That's the point. I don't want to go back over your work. Because if you do too well that I don't have to correct, that's better than doing 10 poorly that I have to go back over.
For sure, and I think you can learn a lot from sanding something.
Yeah.
If you fuck that up, you feel really stupid.
Oh yeah,
and then you're like, wait, this is all it requires a lot of attention. You can't just hold a sander and look at your phone. That's what a lot of people are thinking, I think.
Yeah, and it doesn't.
The sanding's the easy part.
No,
sanding's one of the most important.
Sanding takes forever.
And just because you want it to be over with doesn't mean it's you have to do it. The only way to get it done is to actually do it, and you have to go through all the grits.
It's like, Mom, do we have to?
You got to sand all of those 120 marks out before you go to 180.
Yeah, it's funny. Again, when Christopher, he told me the other day, it came up at work where he was sort of instructing a younger employee than him, and he drew a parallel between something he got here and what he has at his own shop or his own place of work. And I told them, if you didn't get the marks out with 120, they're not coming out with 150.
No,
You know?
exactly. Unfortunately, I've had to tell that to a 45-year-old man who thought he was.
That's what Jeff was talking about. You can't wish it away.
No,
you just got to put your head down and
only
do
one
it.
way to go, and we've had to finish a bunch of those. Love how refinish them over and over again because the stain didn't come out the way it was supposed to. So, trust me, I've had a wire brush in my hand for 12 hours straight. I've had a sander in my hand for many. Thank God I have like the high-end stuff that doesn't vibrate your hand off.
We have 3 vacuums and 3 sets of sanders, the festival stuff.
You got a nice broken sander right there.
I just got a Unita, one with the paddle on the top.
Yeah. You like it?
Gorgeous. Yeah, I mean it's got a 3/32 stroke.
Wow.
So it constantly spins at the same time. So that thing really it's like a Rotex vibe.
Yeah.
It's not a Rotex vibe, sorry. It's like a really nice ETS vibe, but it also spins the entire time.
Yeah, we just got a Rotex not that long ago. We like it.
Yeah, that thing's hold on to your hats when you're using that thing.
So,
6-inch, that'll
fly
across the room.
Yeah, it'll rip your arm off.
This is our last question, Will. This is also something I was thinking I'd ask you, and it's where would you like to see your business in the near future?
I might end up starting another business. I kind of want to. I have a potential business partner, and we kind of our ideas very much align. But with my own work, I kind of, like I said, I want to go more into a very specific. Have a furniture line.
Yeah.
Maybe do custom commissions based off of that line, or just continue to do the custom commissions. I don't really see myself expanding like in a huge way. I definitely want to continue to do this, and as things come in, we'll figure out what's better to do and be smart about stuff. Because I think when you try to go fast, it ends up not working out ever. And I think sometimes slow and steady wins the race with a lot of this stuff, especially as a small.
Yeah.
And my mentality about keeping it small is definitely standing true, because now I know that I can have some things outsourced to CNC machines, and they can do it in a speed that I can never touch. And do I care? Is someone gonna say oh, you didn't do that part? Well, how much shit is made that way now. I'm sorry, but a lot of it is.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I'm okay with it. At first I was they took the easy way out. Yeah, I know how to do it with a router. I could do it with a router. I make shit with a router every single day. I don't need you to tell me that, but if whatever. I do see myself I want to start a closet, kind of like a California Closets, but hipper situation. Because now they have this, let's say this is the laser measurer that you can put in the room, and it scans 360, and it'll tell you if your wall's out of plumb and for a half an inch over there, and it'll tell you that there's a bump in the wall over here. So you can build this stuff on the computer and then have it made on the CNC machine and ship it somewhere and have 2 guys install it. And I just have these, I don't know, I have ideas. I have more, I can keep going, but it's
don't spread them all out there.
Right, exactly. People are going to steal them, but the woodworking and craft and design world, there's a lot of room for a couple of things that aren't there. And I think eventually somebody will figure that out. But I think I don't see why there should be a monopoly in the market of California Closets. I've never seen one that I like. I've never seen a finish that they do that I like, and I think it's insane that people pay a lot of money. And
those things are not cheap.
They're not cheap. They're higher end. They charge more than you guys charge, and I know for a fact because I've competed with them before. And I was like, how the fuck? That is that much money? 12 grand for 2 fucking boxes, literally just 2 boxes with a shelf. The 12 grand.
The shop where we used to work, I built this Wenge vanity and the Wenge medicine cabinets, and they had California Closets. It was almost $100,000. It was a big closet, but still
makes no sense. I mean, and it's laminate.
The installer
it's not just
had sandals on. He had slides on.
Yeah, the mica.
Yeah, the full mica with the particle board inside.
Yeah, the really low grade stuff.
And it's what are you paying for?
Well, you know what? We're going to end it on a really good note, which is to talk about the beer of the week.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I brought it in, so I'm going to go last.
Yeah. I'll go. Rich will be quick, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Sour Wheels by Jug Handle. This was unusual, I'll say. It was very taut. If it wasn't so taut, I would have enjoyed it more. I didn't really get the coconut. I'm not sure what lactose brought to the table.
Maybe a creaminess.
Yeah. So, I mean, the can's empty, so I guess it wasn't bad. It's just it was a good experience, I'll say.
It's a sour. It's
Yeah.
definitely sour. Pineapple, I tasted. Coconut, I did not. Smooth, good. I'll drink another one.
Oh, there you
I'd
go.
be better on a hot day.
Yeah.
Yes, I was thinking.
Yeah, not really too seasonal.
Yeah, I can't see myself drinking like one after the other, but if it's a hot day and they're nice and cold,
Yeah.
I could drink this.
Yeah.
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 It was a beverage.
It's not like a beer.
5.2 alcohol, you can put these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a beer. I don't look at it as a beer.
Very
It's just
crisp,
But it is a
very-
beer.
Kind of shandy.
Yeah.
I'm shocked. I thought you were gonna hate it.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. I got that kind of pina colada. Yeah.
You're more of an IPA kind of guy.
No,
What are you?
old fashioned.
Coors Light.
Oh,
Schmitz, Schlitz, Rheingold.
can't beat that. A level of bad blue myself.
There you go.
Yeah, we had that.
Yeah,
That was like week 2.
Yeah.
we had the bar.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I got that kind of pina colada vibe from it.
Yeah.
It was okay. It's very sour. I like sour beers.
Yeah, that last sip I just had is like,
Yeah.
Yeah, as it gets
It'll
warm.
give you a pucker.
yeah, for sure.
Wow.
Package 8, 18, 20.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah,
So
bravo, Jug Handle.
That's number 2 for Jug Handle.
Yeah.
You're gonna have people sending beer for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm waiting for.
Hint, Jug Handle.
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't send it back.
We're right down the
I
road.
know someone who works at Coors Light, but
Lifetime supply.
That'd be
Coors
heaven.
Light.
That'd be heaven.
So gonna announce next week we got Keith from 2-Bit Woodworks coming on. Keith's another local guy. He's out in Howell. He's another woodworker, YouTuber, Army veteran.
Willy
nice
drove
guy.
in all the way from
New Hope,
I mean, that's no
No.
around the corner
took
trip
longer than I thought. All good. Happy to be here.
on a wet, rainy,
Yeah.
bad driving.
Definitely one of those days you don't want to have to get out of bed. But
Yeah.
But you're already committed.
Like we got this weather for the rest of the week too.
committed.
Good luck. Good luck heading
I
back.
gotta go fucking work in the shop at whatever time it is. I don't even know.
Yeah, it's felt like we did a long one today.
It's all
Yeah.
good. It was flowing off, you know.
Maybe you'll come back again and
That'd be great.
we'll talk about mentorship
Yeah, I mean we always got good stuff to talk
Yeah.
about. That's for sure.
and depending on what time you can get here, maybe
Yeah,
we'll,
super.
maybe we'll bust out some food at the end of it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it is a long trip for you.
Yeah, totally.
We'll have 2
Yeah,
beers
you
a
guys
week
gotta
for that
tell me
one.
where I gotta eat because I'm starving.
Yeah, we get a little.
That is your buddy's deli.
I was gonna say we get a little Big Mike's,
Yeah,
little
we-
red store catering.
Cater it. Yeah.
All right. Fuck yeah, I'm down.
We could send you over to, you like Mexican?
Oh, Mexico.
Oh yeah,
We'll
Pueblo
send you-
Magico.
Pueblo Magico.
Or Portside.
Oh, yeah,
we could
Port Side's pretty good.
Yeah, if you want to like eating like a
Or
bar.
like an
bar
old
food.
There's a
dingy
bar
bar,
right
and that's got
across the-
great food.
Is it
Love
dingy?
that.
In the
No.
back, yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of
No,
dark.
not dingy.
The front
No,
is.
I don't mean it. I wouldn't call it a dive bar.
Would you go there like by yourself?
Yeah,
I don't want to buy that kind of place.
wouldn't bother me.
That's where I got this beer.
Yeah, but you didn't go to the bar.
No, I know. I never made it back up.
Dive bars are my favorite.
Yeah, this is like a liquor store bar.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you go
So it's
through
like
the front, it's the liquor store, and in the
No-
back, there's a
nobody in there pays their child support.
Yeah, like they're probably watching.
Yeah,
They're probably watching Wheel of
But
Fortune
we
or
went
like
there 11
Jeopardy.
o'clock. There were 2 regulars in there already.
yeah, and they were on their third.
Yep.
Good for them. Again, on the website, 30% off all the 3D print stuff, the plans, American Craftsman for that coupon code.
You definitely get those bottle caps.
Yeah.
Those are fire.
Yeah, I've been using one myself.
Great ideas.
So, yeah, that's all we got for this week.
That's it.
Right?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, happy Halloween.
Oh,
Thanks
great.
for coming. It was great.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
Awesome.
Get out there and we didn't get as much feedback on the candy corn as I thought.
Yeah.
You know, Halloween's coming up. Let us know you're
Yeah, we
feeling
wanted to get candy.
Circus
but
peanuts.
circus peanuts and candy corn. Yay or nay?
As
Reese's
trick or
peanut
treater
butter cups.
candy.
As
in general.
if you're gonna have to eat it.
Probably popcorn for me. There you go. I mean, what was the other one? Popcorn. Was it popcorn?
Circus peanuts.
Peanuts. Sorry, peanuts. Definitely. Candy corn.
Yeah.
I'll eat either one. If it's candy,
It's a decoration.
if it's candy, I'm gonna eat it.
Everybody
Does it
be
last
safe out
forever?
there.
Yeah.
Yes, and be careful going home, and
All right.
everybody else out there. It was great talking to you.
Thanks a lot.
See you next
Will.
week.
So,
Ciao.
thanks, guys.
Cut.
That's
Yeah,
it.
get that little audio fade out.